welcome to another edition of Sunday Night Geekery. And part of the usual crew is here, which is awesome. So appreciate Auburn Time, Pat S. and Maddie's Daddy here tonight to talk all things geek. And hey, I see Maddie's Daddy has some cool, those new, in your new gigs, you've got some cool posters up. So, yeah.
This was the plan, and I didn't realize you'd be able to see these walls, so I'll put more stuff up there.
These walls. Oh, sorry. I thought you were giving this.
These walls here.
Will you shut up, please?
He's 6'4". Did you know that? looks like a produce.
Who is it? Super Steve? Sorry,
Pat. If you and Mark aren't up to speed, Claudia and I are quoting.
Yes,
the original Superman. Well, not really the original, but
real deal. 78.
Yeah.
This country is safe again, Super Steve. Thanks to you.
Oh no, sir. We're all part of the same team.
He's got the poster of Batman 251 up there. Love it.
Is that the Joker one? Which poster is that? You got to shift your.
Yeah, yes. Both gifts.
Yeah. Nice.
Thor was back in my days when I had muscles and long hair, and
the dork world.
People called me Thor all the time. Yeah, so
classic poster.
I've got a ton of other stuff that I can put up, and I will once I get. I'm still living in boxes and.
You found your power cord though, which is good. Yep. I
found the power cord. Yeah, and I put up. You can't see it, but right behind my computer is Maddie's play area, with her, her little bunnies that you squeeze their feet and they sing the alphabet or whatever, toys and stuff. So that kid learned the alphabet in 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Smart. She's much smarter than you. I can say that, right?
She's much smarter than I am. And she loves cars. That was her first word other than mommy and daddy. And she, every time I take her for a walk, she goes, ka, ka, ka. And if it's a color that she can pronounce, she knows all the colors, but she can only pronounce a few, because of the mouth mechanics. If it's a blue car, she'll go boo, ka, or red ka. So I went and bought Cars, the Pixar movie. Oh my God, did she love it? Holy cow. The whole time she was jumping up and down with excitement and happiness. So yeah.
Well, that's awesome. And let's say hi to the gang that's in the chat here. So we've got the great Gap Stargate here. Another Blake 7 fan I know. The great Snortapoopus Cuber. I cannot say that name as well as Raquel, but
it's best not to even try.
Yeah, don't even try.
Not even an homage. That's right.
Yeah, be a pale imitation. That's 70s rock fan. 70s is here, and we've got. Hungry for some foghorn leghorn logic. So, Hungry Boy always says a
son. I say, son. Hungry Boy.
Hungry Boy.
Ball is about as sharp as a bowling ball.
And the great Eric K is here in the chat, keeping us all safe. He's wrenching for us. Thank you, bronze wrencher. I got to get that picture from you, Claudia.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Yep. And 70 says, "What hail that lovely panel." Yep. And the $5 is being Venmo'd to 70s rock fan right now for that comment. Yep.
70s is a guy you should always have on your reserve list, Mark. Like if you're really tired and you want somebody who's got a Scottish accent that you could still understand, and you need him to dominate the conversation, 70s is your man.
Well, 70s, I know it's usually I invite, but it's late for him. But if you want to hop in and say hi, let me know. I'll shoot you the link. But I know it gets. I've invited him before, but it gets late early, and people have work early on.
Don't come on 70s. I'm just going to end up asking you rock questions, and we'll start bitching about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame again. Nobody wants to hear that.
We want him to come on.
No, I love 70s. That's my whole point. I just be asking him questions about You're like, can't we just get on Discord, Pat, and talk about this in private? I'm
going to shoot him the link in Discord. So
right,
no obligations.
Nobody cares that Creedence Clearwater Revival didn't have a #1 song in the 70s, dude. Okay,
everyone cares about Creedence.
Yep. So it has been a crazy week. So thinking of the people in Ukraine tonight. Obviously, this is a comic book geek show. We don't get into the politics of it, but there's a lot of crazy, sad stuff going in the world right now. And I got my iPad playing the news underneath my main monitor. So just thinking I run over there and just maybe people get their minds off of things for a little bit and just have some fun and geek out tonight. But yeah, definitely. I'm going to speak for you guys, but that's in been in my mind the
Good
last
stuff.
week. And,
Yeah, and it's
Serious,
been a
man.
quiet geek week too, so you can't help but kind of get drawn to that. So it's kind of a bummer. That's why I decided today.
Good evening, gentle persons.
There he is. See, I told you could understand him.
Hey,
We don't need
he's
a
a break
translator.
man. What?
We don't need a translator, right?
Howdy,
No,
seventies.
No,
one speaks
God,
the
yeah.
Queen's English, you know.
And you don't need a
70s.
translator for us either, right?
Well,
We always say, what about
I
the
would-
Scottish people having trouble, understanding
true.
us silly
Occasionally had
Americans,
trouble
right?
down in Arkansas, but other than that, I'm okay.
If Kevin Bridges were here, I would definitely need you to translate. You guys all know the comedian Kevin Bridges?
Yes, I do.
I can't
Yes.
understand a word he says. The
Yeah,
only thing
I
I can
struggle as
understand
well.
is when he says
Oh yeah,
I can struggle with that one too. Yeah, there's
I tell
there's
ya,
a number of
I
people
like
in
the
Scotland
guy
I
a
can't
ton.
understand.
yeah.
Sorry, mate.
I like the guy a ton, but whoever that Scottish guy that Father Christopher Miller has on, good lord, he
Oh,
might
yeah,
as well just
PJ.
he might as well
Yes.
just be speaking German, bro. I
Great
can
dude.
understand
Yeah.
maybe and he seems like a hell of a nice
Oh,
guy, but I'm like,
lovely fellow, but you can just
can't understand a word he says, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
Well,
really
my dad-
likable guy though. Yeah.
having
Well, I was
been back in Scotland recently, I can testify that there are accents there I can't understand. So.
Wow. I always mention my dad who came here in 1959 or 60, had a heavy accent, sounded like Arnold Schwarzenegger. But then certain accents he couldn't understand, or like whenever he went somewhere, especially like a restaurant or something, it'd always have to translate. Like you go to McDonald's and he could never think the person in the counter couldn't understand him, and he couldn't. So I'd have to translate. He'd like the small fries and a vanilla milkshake was his order.
But even I've had that though, and
Wow.
it's got to the point sometimes, and it's not like I've that strong an accent, but I'd be trying to order something at a fast food counter and what? And I'm like, I'm not that bad, and I started to get nervous about it,
Yeah,
Maybe I should write it on a piece of
I
paper
never
and
have.
show them.
yeah. Well, that's why they have the
I've
kiosk now,
never
right?
had any.
Yeah.
I've never had
God,
any
Mark,
trouble
if I'd
understanding
have been
anything
your
you
friend
say.
as a kid, I'd have been awful because I love Schwarzenegger growing up. So I'd have been trying to get your dad to say all kinds of stuff.
Oh, it's
Like-
him all the
like-
time. Yeah.
Mark.
Yeah. Hasta la vista, Mr. D.
Get our
Hasta la
homework done,
vista.
Mark.
Yeah, was move the sheetrock, move the sheetrock because we were doing
sheetrock.
house construction. Yeah, so it was like and he's like, I do not sound like
Are
Arnold
you,
Schwarzenegger.
How big is that sheetrock? 9mm.
Bullets go right through it. Yep. So what's
Pat,
been
are you,
new? Go ahead, Steve. Yep.
Oh, sorry. I have a really weird delay going on here.
Yeah, you have a
I think
delay
you
going
do,
on.
mate. Yeah, you do. Either that or you're a fantastic ventriloquist.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm like a Chinese
Yeah,
kung
yeah.
fu movie.
Yeah,
Why'd you become a teacher? Pat S., are you familiar with what Arnold said a few months ago? Screw your freedoms.
Yeah, idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I
said when I was a
I
kid,
used to be-
Steve,
you
not
don't know
a
the-
function ago. Not to mention, he hasn't done
I was
anything
wondering
really.
if you still. Well, I'm still a fan of people that I was a fan of as kids. I'm still a big Lou Ferrigno fan and Shazam and stuff. And
Sure.
I wasn't really an Arnold fan because once he cheated on his wife with the maid and everything, I was kind of like,
Yeah.
okay, this guy's not anybody we should be looking up to. And plus, he
Yeah.
he
was a
screwed
crappy governor,
over
too.
a lot of people.
yeah,
He was
yeah.
a terrible person. I mean, you saw Pumping
He's
Iron. He was basically psychologically abusing a deaf guy.
Yeah.
And he's tricked people in the bodybuilding world. There was a Cuban bodybuilder in his first Mr. Olympia contest, a guy named Sergio Oliva, and his English was not that good. And the judges were having trouble deciding who the winner was. So Arnold turned to him and said, "They're not even respecting us. We should just walk off right now." And so Sergio turned and walked off. And then Arnold says to the judges, "Look at this guy. He doesn't even care if he wins." And he did stuff like that his whole life.
Wow.
Ugh, weasel.
That is either
I love his
awful
movies.
or brilliant. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
as a
you can
kid, right? growing up as a kid,
there you
though, I
go.
mean, because I was like a little kid, man, when Conan the Barbarian came out and the freaking sneaking and watching. I wasn't allowed to watch the Terminator. I mean, I was pretty young when that came out. And it was just, to me, that kind of stuff was just amazing. But yeah, I mean, I lost it a little bit. I remember seeing True Lies in the movie theater, and I'm like, this is dumb. I mean, a lot of people like that movie.
I love that movie.
Yeah, I was
it.
like,
I liked it.
I'm not interested in this, kind of thing. Well, Clubby,
only-
the thing I don't like about it is I've never liked Tom Arnold. Anything he's in.
Me either, but I thought it was
Yeah.
funny enough. I thought it was funny in this one, but I don't like. I can't stand him. Yeah, I really can't stand him. Yet in this one, I don't know.
Well, we got a big movie coming out next week, right? Or is it this week? Or
Well, we'll see how big it is.
we got the Batman coming out, so we'll see
The
how
Batman.
Bat versus Spidey does. I mean, you got the nostalgia factor in Spider-Man, but I'm going to go see it opening day. Probably have a quick review up after that, but some people looking forward to it. Like I said, it doesn't look great so far, but
we can review it that night because I'll be seeing the same day.
You'll be seeing it the same day. Yep. So, but I think you gotta give things a shot and at least see it before you pick on it. But
well, you don't have to. But if you're gonna pick on it, you got to watch it.
Yeah, you got to watch it. Yeah. I mean,
Fair
it's
enough.
just
You
that I
can't
don't
be
want to go
that guy,
see
right?
it.
But if you want to be somebody who says don't give a crap, I can blame you because if I don't know if we're doing a channel, I don't think I'd be in a big hurry to see this. It looks,
Yeah,
As a Batman fan, it holds
Well,
zero interest for me.
yeah.
So, gentlemen, you're going to get to see something that only happens once a
I've
year.
been wrong about.
Right? It's my birthday today, so I'm
What?
going to drink. I drink every year. On my birthday, I drink a shot of this Glen Grant 50-year-old malt whiskey that my daughter got me on my 50th birthday.
Wow.
59 today. And if I realised I hadn't had I said I'm going to drink one of these every year on my birthday to make the bottle last, hopefully for 50 years. But
right. Yeah.
So it's a 50-year-old malt whiskey. So
On
I'm about
Sunday
to
Night Geekery, no less.
Oh,
Yes,
God,
so I'm
happy
about
birthday!
to-
Happy birthday! Wow.
So I'm about to drink.
I didn't
this
get you
year's,
Happy birthday to you and Mexican Iron Man.
Yeah, exactly. And Diego from Midnight's Edge, Espanol as well. So inviting me on your show is birthday present enough, mate. Thank you. So I'm going to just
Awesome.
having my annual shot of this 50-year-old malt.
Nice.
whiskey.
And may you drink that bottle till it's empty someday.
200
And
more
I said,
times, right?
hopefully it'll last for 50 years and I'll be 100 when I'm still drinking it. But
But promise me you'll chug it. So don't ever chug it.
if
Yeah.
I'm just about to die and I'm not 100, I'm going to chug it and like,
Chug it, yeah. Go out with a bang. Yep.
cheers.
Wow.
Slajivar.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Yep. Yep.
Upsy daisy.
Birthday 70s.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. I wasn't trying to elicit a response in that sense. I just wanted to
it's
share
good,
with you this special
awesome.
thing.
Hey,
God knows how
Kal-El.
much you paid for it because it couldn't have been cheap. But
Kal-El's here. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Kal-El. Yep. Yeah.
Sparkly
Batman
bat-
Twilight.
sparkly bat boy.
Howdy,
Yeah.
Kal-El.
Well, the
we have
RC
our
car
photo of
looked-
Steve M's.
Yeah. I'm not
Yes.
going to sing for you.
Steve M's.
But the one thing that was cool was the RC Batmobile. I mean, it doesn't look like a great Batmobile to me. It doesn't say scream Batman, but the RC car that they came out with, they did a really nice job. Really nice job with that. So some of the stuff, you always got to enable. Of course, I got my new Batwing behind there. I didn't start my build videos yet, so
Steve Mitchum has cooler cars than that thing.
yeah. We'll see how it does in the movie theater, but just not looking. Catwoman doesn't look especially hot to me, which is one of the criteria, right? I mean, maybe she will be.
hot
but,
is not allowed now. You're not allowed hot.
Movie's almost 3 hours long, by the way.
Oh, we're gonna have to have 2 large popcorns then.
Why?
Make it through it.
I'm going to withhold
Why?
judgment and wait and see it. I've been wrong. I was wrong about the Keaton Batman. I was wrong about big time wrong about Captain America because I freaking love that first movie.
Yeah. Me too.
So, and I saw my ex-wife one night put on a movie that Pattinson was in, which I did not want to see. It was called Water for Elephants or something. And his American accent is perfect. And his acting was good.
Wow.
So, I mean, I couldn't believe how good his American accent. Some guys like Andrew Garfield, you can tell because they go a little bit raspy to try to cover up,
Right.
But his American accent was flawless.
You know who else is great, Steve, in my opinion anyway, is Charlie Cox, because I did not know he was British.
Yeah.
And just
Oh, he's
recently, the
British.
other day,
Yeah.
man, I love him on Daredevil. So just the other day, I watched an interview with him, and he is the most Britisher you've ever Britished. I mean,
Damn,
It-
none
it-
of them
Leave
are
it
taking
at-
American jobs.
and he is so good on Daredevil.
Clavel, Henry Clavel too, or Clavel. His accent is really good.
There's a funny thing that these Brits seem to be able to do American accents really well. It doesn't always work the other way around.
Some,
But the Brits
It rarely works the other way, right?
Yep.
right. But no,
Well,
some
you don't
Brits don't do it well, though.
Well,
it's not everybody can do it. Yeah.
Nobody who has been knighted can do an American accent. I mean, Professor X was never British. It was just Patrick Stewart can't do an American accent.
That's
Magneto
true.
can't
Well,
do
Sean
it.
Connery couldn't do anything but Sean Connery.
But Sean
No matter what
Connery,
role
yeah.
he was playing.
But the ones who have tried,
Michael
No.
Caine's was, and I love Michael Caine, but
yeah.
Michael
pretty
Caine
bad.
is always going to, only supposed to blow the bloody
always
doors
all
off.
time,
That's, you can't do
Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
else.
Hail to Dave.
Well,
Hell,
I
Dave.
love the great Patrick McGowan. Tried it many times, and as great as he is as a British actor, when he tried the American accent, and he won the Emmy Awards doing it on Columbo.
yeah.
But there was just something about it. It's ours, Inspector.
Well, it's not easy to do. I mean, it's
Mel Gibson
One
did
thing
it well,
about-
but once in a while he would slip sometimes.
Yeah, you also, I had a roommate for a year who was from Bolton, which is near Manchester, and I just found out my family used to own that.
What, Manchester? They owned Manchester.
Bolton.
Well, they owned Bolton.
I agree about Hugh Laurie.
Yeah, it's not that much of a thing to brag about right now.
I've been there.
But he told me, I said, because I would have to stop him and say, "What did you say? What was that, John?" And I said, "How come you can understand me?" And he said, "You got to understand. I watched Friends all the time. All the movies are American. We hear your accent all the time, so we don't have any trouble. But we have trouble understanding Brits a lot.
Lancashire is a difficult accent. It's like akin to Yorkshire, really. It's quite, hey up, lad.
so Steve.
The Beatles were from Lancashire.
Michael Keaton, I am Batman, is not happy with you for not originally saying they thought the movie wasn't good.
Bobby was there with me.
No, he
good.
didn't think it was going to be good.
You didn't think it was going to be good. Yeah.
But then it was.
Bobby actually at the time said he thought Steven Seagal would make a good Batman, and at that time I agreed with him because
we were just saying physically. We didn't know about. We knew he couldn't act, but
he was a tall guy. He had some martial
Michael
arts
Keaton's
experience,
shoulders
yeah.
there. It's like,
yeah,
he's got no shoulders, but yeah, he did a great job in the role. So.
The way you had him earlier, Mark, it looked like he was sitting in your lap.
Yeah, he's a small
Michael
guy.
Keaton was the guy who came up with the idea of the raspy voice. Everybody before him, if they changed their voice at all, which a lot of people did not, they just went deeper. Or unless you count Christopher Reeve, who went the other way and added a fake lisp to his Clark Kent, and then went, Lois, I've got something to tell you. I'm really. I was. Yeah, but like George Reeve didn't change his his voice at all.
Bud Collyer did though.
Bud Collyer
on the old Fletcher. This looks like a job for Superman.
Yeah, because they were on the radio, and he had to show people that he was changing. And of course they had to give you exposition all the time. So they'd say things like, "I'll just wrap Lois in my indestructible cape like this, and then we'll burst through the wall."
And Lois said, "Who are you talking to?"
I'd say Danny Dark, but he never got to play Clark Kent.
The thing is, I can't take another Batman because honestly, and you guys might disagree with me on this, I don't think there's another comic book character, with the exception of Superman, that the movies get more wrong than Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing like the one of the worst things I ever saw. Did you ever see that awful Suicide Squad movie where Batman jumps right in the middle of this alley and pushes a kid aside to arrest her father in front of her? Batman wouldn't do that. Batman's not going to attack a person with a child in an alley. Do you read anything? But here's the problem is, and it's frickin', and no offense, look, if you like the Zack Snyder, you frickin' good for you. I'm glad you did. But here's my problem. Zack Snyder is the classic example of a guy who read one freaking thing. He obviously read, and I don't know this for sure, but I guarantee you this is it. He read The Dark Knight Returns, and he thinks that's what Batman is.
Yep.
And that's not what Batman is.
Fact.
That's what Batman became because he was in this awful position and he lived in this freaking dystopic. And I love Frank Miller, and I love that, and I love that book.
Yeah.
I love that book, but that is not Batman. That is like one sliver of the history of Batman, and he's an idiot for basing a story on it. Batman and Batman versus Superman is an abomination, and I can't take it anymore. I just can't.
Yeah,
and they absolutely don't understand. Superman should be the easiest person to make a movie about, but instead you know what it is? It's not Superman. It's freaking Dr. Manhattan. Superman is not an aloof person who views Earthlings as aliens.
Mm-hmm.
He is an Earthling. That's how he views himself. He grew up in Smallville. I don't understand how you don't understand that. It should be so simple to make a Superman movie. Now, I can't say that about Batman. I think Batman's a little bit more complicated than that. But you just let him be a freaking boy. You know, in the comics, and I don't read a lot of Superman comics. Superman's just like a nice guy. He's a jovial fella. He helps people out and stuff. He's not brooding. He doesn't just walk after a building explodes and 50 people die. He doesn't just come out and be like totally emotionless. It's disgraceful what they do because it's lazy and it's stupid more than anything else. It's not even woke. It's just dumb. So sorry about that. I didn't mean to go for a rant like that.
I mean, there's some stuff I love about Dark Knight Returns, and it's got one of my favorite all-time Batman scenes where he's going to Crime Alley to lay the roses. And he's in, he's Bruce Wayne. He's just dressed up, in a suit. And the crazies there are looking at him and seeing how big he is and the look on his eyes and like, maybe we won't mess with this guy. He looks a little crazy, and there. I just love that, love that scene. And there's a lot about the love, but it just became it took over the Batman character. It's supposed to be an Elseworlds, dystopian tale. And it became, something that everything was modeled on. And Batman can have some levity in him and some fun, almost like a James, I don't want to say James Bond, but you know what I'm trying to say, like adventures or fun adventures and things like that, where it doesn't always have to be grim and the end of the world and everything depressing and dark.
It's not the true origin of it. It's not meant to be all dark and all grim.
No.
Yeah,
and not to throw Clobby in the middle of this, but one of the things he and Loki were talking about a couple weeks ago when they were reviewing one of the animated DC things, which, by the way, I think do the best. If you want a good representation of Batman and Superman, go watch Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. Those are great examples of how they are and how they got. But I think was it Loki that said that, Clobby? I don't want to put words in his mouth or your mouth, but that just said that the whole thing where they I forget what my point was. Crap, it was. But he said something about how I can't remember what it was now.
You're talking about we were reviewing Justice League Doom.
Yeah.
And basically about the whole plot being Batman having a contingency plan against the Justice League.
Yeah.
And, that Vandal Savage got a hold of and used to try to kill them all.
Right.
And then toward the end, when Superman says, "Well, why don't you make up a plan for yourself?" He said, "There is a plan for me. It's called the Justice League."
Right.
If any of them go bad, that was the whole plot of the things that we.
Yeah.
If that's what you're speaking of, or because we talk about Superman and Batman a lot.
No, I was trying to think of my point was that the car. I think what I was trying to say was that the cartoons do a better job of it than than anything else. Because I guess maybe it's because they're using more direct source material and stuff instead of this hodgepodge stuff that they.
Well, the cartoons are being run by guys with a lot of comic book background, like Bruce Timm and Paul Dini, and at that time the late great Dwayne McDuffie and James Tucker, and a lot of people who actually care about it. You're talking about live action movies are like idiots, like I don't care how much everyone loves what's his face Nolan. Christopher Nolan has admitted that he never really cared much about Batman. A lot of these people, Tim Burton has admitted that he likes the villains more than Batman. What did it show in his movies?
Surprise.
None of these guys had any kind of background with comics or the character. So but the animation is a much closer cousin to comic books. And the art forms are so similar. And some of those guys even cross fields a lot. So it just makes sense that they're going to have always a chance to be far truer to the characters.
Well, plus you've got more time too as a TV show. Like if you're watching the new Superman show, which has been pretty good, I haven't watched a lot of the latest season, but that was pretty decent. I thought I enjoyed watching that first season. The Stargirl's been good, but just in general, like Star Trek belongs on TV. I mean, you can flesh out the characters, but of course you have to have the good writing, and it doesn't guarantee success. As according, if you look at what's coming out now on Star Trek, but I just love the idea. Like Batman, I'd love to have a Batman TV show. Just crime of the week and gritty, down to earth villains, and then you could also have some fun moments too, where it's a little bit more lighthearted. It doesn't have to be the 66 Batman, but somewhere in between. But I'd love to see Batman on TV with the special effects today. There's no reason they could pull it off.
Just don't get the CW to make it.
Yeah. Well, you're not kidding. Well, I don't know if they're going to be around much longer anyway. But but you know what though, I have to say, guys, I tried some of Peacemaker. I don't hate it, but I have to tell you, if you're being logical about it, Peacemaker doesn't deserve a redemption arc. He's an awful human being. He killed his brother. Yeah. He killed Randall Flagg. He's an imbecile. He's a bad guy. He really.
The brother the brother was an accident though. So
the brother was when he was a kid. And he was an accident.
Yeah, but yes, I get that, but
he doesn't deserve any. No one. It's James Gunn. Let me tell you something. You can laugh at the show you want. James Gunn's a degenerate, and everything he does and says, even if the show's funny, it's coming from a degenerate, extremely morally questionable standpoint. It's like that's why I always joke that I need to shower after I watch Peacemaker.
Well, and let me be the unpopular guy in the room now, because I'm going to tell you this too. That whole Justice League cameo was an abomination.
I loved it.
I don't like Ezra Miller as it is. Now I do like Jason Momoa. I think he's a good guy. I liked him in that Stargate show he did. But I don't think that thing's.
Don't repeat the fish joke.
I'm not. But and you know why I'm not, Mark? Not even because it's dirty. It's not funny. It's hackney. It's hack.
True.
Even if it was funny, it's still hack. And it's
low class potty humor that doesn't.
But you know why I did? But Pat, the reason why I would kind of liked it in this case is because I have no respect for Snyderverse filth, and this was just taking another swipe at Snyderverse filth because the Snyder bots were angry that how dare you treat the Justice League like that. So since I don't like anything they've done to those characters anyway, I say let them trash it.
Yeah, you make a good point there. That is not
bring the whole diseased temple down.
That is not a bad point.
That's the reason I like it, because otherwise I just agree with you. Sorry, go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, no. I was gonna say I did enjoy this series. I know where it's coming from, but it's stuck to those roots, and you're getting with James Gunn, and I was in the mood for some good laughs, and it's like you listen to Howard Stern. He's, in my opinion, he's fun in small doses. Especially those interviews are fantastic, but after a while you just get sick of the. If you like that stuff, that's great. But it's a same shtick. But if you do like it, that's fine too. Enjoy it. But
sure,
I love the, love the characters. I do think characters do deserve a chance at redemption. So I think that arc, and when you find out, I don't know how far into the series you are, Pat, but when they explore what his dad did to him, and so I think there's a lot going on, and there was more depth to the character.
I tell you what. I've seen 2 episodes. He better redeem himself a lot more.
Well, you got to get into it.
Because somebody who's willing to kill children to bring peace is not a good. That's a crazy person, right? I mean, that
was a line. He didn't really kill. I mean, that was him saying.
No, I understand, but if you're willing to do that, even that's a little weird.
That was him saying that. We don't know that he would, though.
Right.
Yeah.
I will ask you guys this though: do you like, Claudia? I guess you would know this, but maybe Mark or Steve. Would you what was Peacemaker like in the old comics, like even the real old ones before DC bought them, when they were in the Charleston comics or something like
Charlton. In the Charlton books, he used non-lethal weapons. He became, because his father was a former war criminal who killed a lot of people. He actually started this organization, and he would use nothing but non-lethal weapons. It was actually. He lived up to the game. He would not kill. He was a peacemaker. He believed in peace. He had that. He wasn't a psycho until his comic kind of lapsed. And then in the early 80s, Alan Moore was getting ready to do Watchmen, and DC had just acquired the Charlton characters because Dick Giordano, formerly of Charlton, was fond of them. So DC, sort of like Karen Berger, I think Paul Levitz got together and sort of like a present, bought it for DC, and so he could have him and do something that he wanted. Then here's Moore wanting to use him to make Watchmen, and they said, "No, I don't want you doing that to these characters." So he had to create his own. And but then a few years later, when the Watchmen was huge, they started doing. They'd already been doing a Blue Beetle title, and then later they brought a Question title, and then they bring Peacemaker along, who's basically would have been comedian, and Watchmen, except. And they bring Peacemaker on, and they gave him a series because Blue Beetle and Question had been given, and Captain Atom had been popular, and it didn't last long. And eventually, they retconned him where he was a psycho because the Punisher was big at the time. Marvel's vigilante character kind of run its course, so that's what they kind of started making him more of a. They got away from the original origin and made him just a nut job with a gun. So, as Gunn explains, I'm a douchey Captain America.
And kind of a Punisher thrown in there, right? Yep. So, but no, pop culture. Yeah, you're 100% right. Your life is too short to waste on bad TV.
It is. It's far too short. Yeah.
I stopped watching STD.
I actually just finished watching today. Reacher. You got it.
Yeah, cool.
I thought it was. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
And I'd read that book, and I think it was pretty faithful to the book. Yeah.
Almost as spot on as you could be, yeah.
Yeah, I found no fault with it. I mean, there's obviously any no show is perfect.
Yeah,
even 98% great. Yeah,
even I enjoyed it. That's weird. I don't watch new stuff much.
No, it was. I was worried. Thought, oh god, they're going to make Reacher a woke pussy or something. No, it was perfect.
This is so unmodern, except for they only have one super woke scene in the whole thing. But Pat S, on your recommendation, buddy.
But even that scene, at least it had boobs in it. At least that scene had boobs.
You know what I'm talking about. But Pat, that's on you, buddy. That's a shout out to you that I took your recommendation on the show and I really liked it, man.
Well done. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Thank you, sir. Now I only have to give you 100 more recommendations, and we'll be even.
Don't push it.
I loved the music. I loved the musical flip that they did, and it's the same in the book that reaches into the blues, the black blues, and the chief of police, the chief detective, Finlay, is the black guy. Is into white AOR from the 80s and 90s.
I love that.
Oh, Kansas, this is great.
Yeah, that was funny playing Kansas.
That was hilarious. Yeah,
it's like I can't take it anymore in the car. It's like no more blues. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, one of the things they didn't do good on the show, which would have been kind of neat, but it's not necessary, was you find out in the books that because of Preacher's memory is that eidetic memory, that he doesn't even carry an iPod or a phone with him to listen to music on. Because when he hears music, he just automatically remembers it. So while he's on a bus, he'll sit there and listen to music in his head, right? It's
that's no fair.
Looks like a complete psycho while he's doing that. Then it's like Putty in Seinfeld. He just sits in the plane the whole time like this.
First time in a long time we've seen a hero, a protagonist where he's the quiet, stoic, kind of just the tough guy type. And none of the Fifi stuff. He's very, and yet he's very smart. Apollo me.
Apollo.
That opening scene really establishes that when he walks up the bus, and you're thinking, okay, even old cliche TV or movie, he kicks the guy's ass because they had a guy abusing his wife.
Yeah, he just steals
whatever.
him out.
But then he just looks at the guy and he sees what's going on, stares at him, and you're thinking, okay, he's gonna throw him all over the place. The guy looks at him and actually because usually these guys are stupid, so they'll attack a big badass. He looks at this guy and goes, no.
That's right. That guy had the sense to.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Can I clean your boots or something, dude?
That's the Dark Knight Returns scene done over live action. I love that. As mentioned before, Bruce Wayne in the crime alley. Maybe not. Maybe he won't. It's gonna take this guy.
The only fault I could find, apart from the strip club scene, was when he's sitting down just after that scene, which you just mentioned. He's sitting down with a pie in front of him, and the police turn up to arrest him. I would have at least taken one bite of it.
Yes.
Yeah, that was going to be the running joke for the last scene of it.
But I would have been like, "Oh, they're coming! I'll eat this."
Get some pie.
Yeah, but that was a great payoff at the end of the.
Yeah,
it was.
Well, see, there's the thing, because how many times in a movie have you watched I don't know, Bruce Lee or whomever kicks 50 dudes' asses, right? But then 50 more show up where they never go all right, look, that's about 30, 40 guys you just I don't think I'm going to have a shot. I'll see you later, dude. I'm out of here.
I'll go eat some pie.
Right.
Yeah, or John Wick waste 40 friggin' dudes, but 40 more show up to get wasted.
That's what I was. I say, if I was one of the guys, the next 40, I'd be looking at what going on. I'd say, nah, it's not worth it. And
Yeah, I don't think so. I think
I'd be running the other way.
I've seen
Check,
enough.
please.
Yeah, check, please. I'm
And
not
not to
dying for
bring him up
this guy.
again because everybody's always like, "Oh God, Pat always brings this up." But I've been watching all the episodes over. But frickin' Jim Rockford, I just saw an episode where he like a guy punches him, and he's like, "Oh, don't punch me in the face. I just went to the dentist," you know. And he doesn't want to hit somebody because his hand hurts and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
He put like this one time he was picking his teeth up off the ground in one episode. Another one he put a roll of nickels in his hand to hit a dude.
yeah,
Because the guy was way bigger than him.
yeah, pushes. Oh,
And he
actually,
put soap on the floor?
my favorite is he pushed like a bunch of building supplies on a guy, saying
Well,
So they
Rocky
had to
got the
fight.
crap kicked out of him.
Yeah, it was a lovely show.
yeah.
Great
I
show.
love that.
Do you remember where he kept his gun? His 38 snub nose?
Cookie jar.
He kept it in a cookie jar with actual cookies in it.
Yep.
Gotta
He
watch
told
out
that guy-
for the grease on the gun.
Like
Don't
a
read
guy
that
who
one when you're drunk. Then
like the episode he's talking to Rocky about that detective show the guy's always watching. I'm gonna call it His Gun is Deadly. He's telling Rocky, yeah, his gun is deadly. Look, mine's in the cookie jar. He pulls
Cookie Monster. So, Maddie's daddy, have you watched any of Reacher or no chance with all the move and everything going on?
I do not have any streaming services.
Inconceivable. What do you watch?
Inconceivable.
You read books?
Goes to the Blockbuster.
I change diapers and I teach a baby.
I'm gonna say he's raising
He's like-
a child.
He's
dude.
like Reacher. It's all in his head. He just has to sit and recall it all.
Well, I think that Maddie is gifted, and obviously everybody wants to think that. But she's 18 months old, and twice today with a crayon she drew a capital A and said A. Pretty unusual for an 8. Yeah, she learned the alphabet in 2 weeks. She soaks up the sign language that I teach her. So yeah, she's kind of like I just had to eat just now because she takes up all my time because she wants to play and do stuff all day. So no, but also it's the financial thing. You know, I bought a house and I have a daughter. It's amazing when you have a guy. You guys all know this. All of you guys are parents, right? Except for Pat.
Hey, grandparent now. So.
Oh wow!
Congratulations. Yep.
I might as well be, dude. I started raising 4 boys when they were 3, 4, 7, and 8. So 2 sets of Irish twins. Yeah, when their awful mother took off. So yeah,
Wow.
moved in with my brother for a year, and 9 years later.
But that's very commendable, Pat. That's very commendable.
Indeed.
And hail to Punk Waddle.
Hail Punk Waddle.
Oh, hey, Punk.
So yeah, so that's why I don't have streaming services. Everything, you know, like
You don't. No one lends you their codes. I mean,
I was going to say, Steve, you're a likable guy. Nobody's like, hey, just take my Amazon password.
Actually, one guy has, but a guy I work with. Actually, I should get him one, not on to speak, but he's a pretty nerdy guy. He's another 3D artist. I should get him to join in on Star Trek Saturday nights and this too. But I haven't done it. You know, he said, "Don't tell my wife," and I'm just worried they'll be watching something one night and all of a sudden, you know.
Well, the one thing is with Amazon or Netflix, they've got the profiles or whatever. So like, I was at so just say a relative's house, and then you log in and you're checking all the movies. They're like, you know, everything was all like, you know, remember when Skinaflix or Skinamax at night, or we joke, or you know, everything was like softcore, you know, not pornography, but you know, those, you know, kind of like, you know, those late night movies,
TNA,
like,
a bit of TNA,
TNA movies. I'm like kind of, if the other person in the house, you know, logs into the wrong account, you know, there were nothing really bad, but it was just funny. Or you yell, like, you know, if you share the account, I don't happen to share my account, but like, don't start watching, you know, Sex in the City on my account because you're gonna mess up my algorithm. You know?
Yeah.
I have to tell you, a buddy of mine from YouTube actually set me up a Disney account because I refuse to pay for Disney anything. And I have to say, I went and I watched The Black Hole. I'm watching the original Star Wars again. I'm gonna watch that Fantastic Four cartoon. I like some of the other cartoons, but other than that, what a big, vast depth of nothing. It is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, other than some of the good Marvel stuff, but anything that's new, and maybe I'm missing it. Mark, do you have the Disney?
Well, they've got Winnie the Pooh, which is one of my favorites. So they've got.
Okay, I was going to say, how do I find all the old? I want to watch the old cart because I can't even find Steamboat Willie. I want to watch some of the old Disney cartoons. Is that on there?
They do have some really. I have to check lately, but they did have all the.
Have they
Saturday
got Song
Morning
of the
Pooh.
South? Song of the South.
No, Song of the South is illegal. That's illegal. Yep. No Song of the South. Yep.
You have to get that from Japan.
Yeah,
yep. Japan had that.
Right.
But I don't. Yeah, I don't have Disney Plus here. But when I visited my grandkids in Scotland 2 or 3 weeks ago, they've got Disney Plus in the house, and it was fascinating looking through what is and isn't on there. But also sitting watching stuff like Encanto that I would never see in a million years without having grandchildren. You know.
Yep.
But yeah, there was some stuff on there that was it's what's not there as opposed to what's there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Like
of course,
the Black Cauldron isn't there, I'm sure.
Didn't see
No,
it.
nope.
I didn't see it. No.
It was.
I've seen it, but I didn't see it on there. No.
Yeah. I'm surprised you saw it. Yeah, it almost brought down Disney altogether, except for the theme
but they're
park.
killing it with the streaming
that at the
service
theater.
and their earnings though. So
But they're doing that. They're doing that
Those
because of
Encanto.
Robert Zemeckis. Robert Zemeckis saved Disney.
did you like Encanto or Paul?
I actually thought it was pretty good. I mean, I can't say I'm a huge fan of the more recent Disney
Yeah, they kind of
cartoon
flow
output, but
together.
I thought Encanto was pretty good and pretty. It was quite funny. The songs, the kids love the songs. They're always singing them. I thought it was good. Yeah, I had no problem with it. I prefer the Scottish one, Brave. You know, that was a good one.
Oh, it's a new Wonder Years show. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Will Disney ever have another male protagonist, or the males always blundering idiots or bad guys? Because looking at the last several movies, the men are always either bad guys or ineffectual.
Blundering
You know.
idiots.
Well, they had 30% of one in Spider-Man: No Way Home, but that's mostly because of Sony.
No, I was thinking more of their animated stuff. You know,
Well,
everything
Encanto,
like Frozen
Encanto was
or Moana.
Encanto was very female focused, but
Raya and the Last
it didn't
Dragon.
necessarily make them all look good. So, but that could be a reflection of the Colombian family. They had the Abella, you know, the matriarch, who was not necessarily as nice to the kids as they would like. So it was very female centric. Put it that way. And
Yeah,
then,
so
of course,
Hey, wait,
Yeah,
stop. Everybody look, Mark is
Welsh.
watching the Eternals. You could see the blue line.
Mark.
I did watch it. Yep. Because I missed the first 2 minutes of it in the movie theater. So
Did that make it much better for you?
Well, if you notice, I watched till I.
yeah, but that was the third time you'd watched it though, and you stopped it on the fourth time. Yeah.
I've been outed. Yeah, I've been outed.
Mark, is that a Hawkeye cartoon?
No, that's the Hawkeye show.
Okay. But that's
then
the
there's
good
the FF show.
Fantastic
There's
Four
the
cartoon.
Fantastic Four one. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Fantastic
Okay.
Four. And
Let me tell you what
then,
else you need to watch. You need to watch Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Yep, that's
Man,
a
that
great
looks like
one,
a
too.
big. That looks like a big plate of food to me. Isn't there like a lot of?
2 seasons. Unfortunately, it's not enough of it.
Okay.
Was that only 2
Leave 'em
seasons?
Unfortunately,
Wow, I thought it was more
sadly,
than that. But it was.
yeah.
Mark, do they have the
especially
Winnie
at
the?
end.
Do they have
Well,
the
here's
Winnie the Pooh where he gets stuck in the hole?
Well, this is the New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, which is a series from the 90s and the 80s and 90s, which I loved. Let me check. I shall check. And this is what's new to Disney, just to see what they've got new. But of course, they had the Beatles documentary that was awesome. That was fantastic to watch.
Yeah, but I don't like the way they race. I don't like the way they race and gender swap them.
Miracles and Man, Avengers, is making of Hawkeye. Here we go. Winnie the Pooh. Oh, that's a Valentine one. Let's see.
They made Yoko Ono one of the Beatles. I don't like that.
You know, I was expecting her to be much more belligerent, and she's just sitting there the whole
She
time.
just sat there. Yeah,
She just sat there.
Didn't really
And then
see
Paul's
much.
got that line. You know, he's like, "Someone's gonna watch this in 50 years," and
That
say
was
we broke up the Beatles. The Beatles broke up.
That was a
over-
great 30 by 30, by the way.
Mm.
The fall of with the buffalo.
Oh, they got the
Which
Sandlot.
one? Sorry, which 30 by 30 was it?
About the Beatles or
No, the 30 by 30.
30 by 30 was ESPN's docu
Yeah,
thing.
because
that
I've
they
seen
did.
some of those. Yeah.
Yeah, and the one, what was it called, Mark? The Falls of Buffalo, and it talks about all the times they went to
yeah.
the.
The 4 times a row into the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was incredible.
So
It was
the
a
Bills,
great
yeah.
one.
Yeah, that's of course my Giants beat them, so
Yeah.
sorry guys.
Well, that
but,
and to be honest with you, no offense, because I know your boy got sick and everything, but what a bunch of jerks! Those guys are all pretty much dislikable people. They seem to have mellowed in their old age, but was it Jim Kelly? Was he the quarterback?
He was battling cancer right now, I think.
Yeah,
so
that's what I was
yeah.
going to say. Now he's like a really nice guy and all, but man, he was
Mhm.
kind of a jerk when he was in his 20s.
Yeah, well,
that's what made him a good quarterback.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sometimes you got to be an a-hole, right?
Gotta have the swagger. Yeah.
The general, yep. So let's see what they got for Pooh. They got Christopher
They
Robin.
got a few things.
Ticket Heffalump movie, New Adventures, Many Adventures. But
How's that Christopher Robin? Isn't that from the guy about? Is that Ewan McGregor?
Live action? Yeah, that was Ewan McGregor.
So the
yeah, it was
top
pretty good.
left-hand corner of the original animated
Is that
movie.
the original? I got to be careful. I don't play anything here. But
I was going to say,
It looks
Yeah.
like it, but I don't have my glasses on.
2011. No,
No. But does that really mean it was made in 2011?
I think so.
Return.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
am I imagining this, or as a kid, was there like Disney stuff that would come on like Sunday nights and stuff? And all?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Sunday
Or am
night
I
movie,
okay?
yeah.
I don't know if I was just like
Walt
thinking
Disney?
of like a video, but I remember like Davy Crockett and stuff and
Yeah,
all. I mean, I was a little bitty
The
kid.
Wonderful
Okay.
World
Wonderful
World of Disney.
Wonderful
Yeah.
World of Disney was on.
Oh, that was a
every
real thing.
weekend.
Okay, cool.
In
Yeah,
Britain,
first it was
it
called
on
the-
every weekend.
First, it was called the Wonderful World of Color,
Mhm.
because Walt Disney was, despite all of his flaws, stealing Mickey Mouse. He was a pioneer, especially in color, and he was doing stuff in color on TV before anybody else was, except for Bonanza. So yeah, but
Yeah,
yeah,
we
it was
watched
the
that.
Wonderful World of Disney. Yeah,
Yeah. I
Yeah,
remember
so
watching that,
Hungry
yeah.
Boy, Black Cauldron is there. So that was a fun
Wow.
movie. Yep.
Check that out.
1985. Yep.
thought they tried to
Wow, I haven't
distance
seen that
themselves
movie
from
in
that.
years.
So I guess they've got.
The Emperor's
It
New
is there,
Groove
huh?
is a great movie.
Yeah, I wonder if can you break it down by animated here?
Black Cauldron,
Classics
wow.
or-
Black Cauldron almost brought down Disney because the executives were like, we have to go darker. We have to go darker. Kids these days are more sophisticated. They don't want, singing, animal sidekicks and stuff. And
Right.
and it tanked.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, because guess what? As a kid who saw it, it was freaking terrifying. That's all.
yeah. Well, then the same thing happened with Pixar when they did the first Toy Story. Is the people from Disney came in and they said, make them dark, make them edgy, do a lot of like insult comedy stuff. And then when they watched the final cut, the same executive said, these characters are completely unlikable. What happened? And one of the other executives said, sir, we happened. Let them do the movie that they had, But after Black Cauldron, Disney was shutting down animation. They were just going to do, what was it? Was it Castle Rock that was Disney? And then Zemeckis went to him and said, could I use your characters for this movie I'm making? And they went, sure, we're never going to use them again. And that's why you have one movie where you have, Looney Tunes and Disney characters together. And then it was this huge hit. And all of a sudden everybody's like, whoa, there's money to be made here. Ours, you can't touch them. But Robert Zemeckis saved Disney.
Yeah. All right. So there's the most traumatic Disney movie ever.
Yeah, I was going to say that's still allowed to show.
Horrifying.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I wonder if they've got to have can't play it, but I wonder if they have a disclaimer on it. I'll try the other window.
Yes.
But
Look
I mean, I
other
guess
way
Disney is
dies.
the streaming. I was reading Disney's earnings are way up, and the streaming is making a lot of money. I mean, look at this. We used to buy all the DVDs or tapes for the kids, but you just sub to the streaming service, you get all these classic. It seems like they've got all their classic animated on there.
They need to make live actions of Bambi and. Why haven't they done the Jungle Book yet? Wouldn't that?
They did the Jungle Book.
They did.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah.
Guys, who is this Wesley Curry II, and does he need to be banned? I'm reading his last thing about giving Noah a plum. Is this?
No, never heard of that yet.
Is that some sort of sexual thing?
I don't know. It doesn't mean anything to me.
He also says, "So are you Jewish Hebrews?" This guy. Have you guys heard this guy before? Wesley Curry II. Look at the.
I see what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. Doesn't mean anything to me. Noah Plum. That's weird.
Somebody may have his stuff all just
Eric
left.
K will handle everything there.
Eric
for
K
us,
probably. Yeah, Eric K.
Get the wrench out.
The mighty Eric. We should do a painting, or one of us should do a painting of Eric K. just holding a wrench like Thor, with like God rays coming out of it, standing on a mountain of dead bots.
What's
hey,
this?
Mark,
I never seen this before.
Droids? I've never seen that before.
You guys heard of it, but I don't recall ever seeing it.
Is it live action or is it animated?
Animated, I think.
Well, the kid looks
like an Ewok.
Yeah.
You see that cartoon droids down there? Those are some of the most. Those are some of the most expensive Star Wars action figures you could get.
Yeah.
Oh, the original. Yep.
Yeah, there's a Boba Fett that looks just like that. Yeah.
Can I ask, have they got any of the Herbie movies, The Love Bug and stuff like that on Disney Plus?
Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo?
Yeah, Herbie Rides Again, The Love Bug, all those old Herbie
nostalgic.
Movies. Yeah, I used to see those at the cinema when I was a kid.
That's a good question. I'm still waiting for Mark to try to find some of the old Disney cartoons for me.
Yeah, well, they did. Which you're looking for? Like,
no, he's talked about the 1920s and 30s.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Steamboat Willie.
Steamboat Willie, yeah.
That's coming into public domain soon.
Yeah.
I was going to say, how can you not have Steamboat Willie? That's like.
Well, that was Disney. That's it.
Oh yeah, they got Steamboat
one
Willie.
of the first things that Walt Disney ripped off from Paul Terry.
I've got Steamboat. I've got Steamboat Willie too.
I bet you, Hungry Boy knows that. Yeah, because this character Mickey Mouse was ripped off from a guy named Paul Terry, who
was another
member from Terry Toons. Yeah. You can find on YouTube. Look up Paul Terry mouse, animated mouse, and you'll see basically Mickey Mouse like 2 or 3 years before Mickey came out.
Yep. Sad. Huh?
I tell you, that's a rabbit hole you can fall down to. You ever go on YouTube and start watching like old 20s and 30s cartoons, and they just keep coming, more and more of them come up. You're like, I've never seen any of these and all that. Like I found these old Betty Boop cartoons. You ever see any of those?
Oh yeah, Fleischer.
Yeah, dude, that guy's amazing. And then I think he did some Superman cartoons in the 30s and 40s, and those are really cool. Like Superman fighting these big robots and stuff and everything. It was pretty neat.
Oh, the Fleischer cartoons are fantastic.
Batman the Animated Series. They said we designed Batman based on their Superman.
Yep, and the whole style.
And then Clobby. Well, does anybody know who they based their Superman on? Clobby probably knows. Hungry Boy. The Superman from the animated series. Do you know which? It was based. They basically took the character design from a classic television cartoon series, and I'll give you a hint. It was made by Trans-Lux.
Buck Rogers or something? Flash
Trans-Lux. Again for?
Remember Trans-Lux? They made Speed Racer. Yeah. Anybody ever see the old Trans-Lux Hercules?
So they kind of based them on that. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That's where they got their Superman character design from. They changed him up a little bit.
He does look like him.
Yeah. I mean, it's
that's true. There you go. I've never heard that. Hey, Sherry.
Hail, lovely Sherry.
Hi, Sherry.
Hey, Sherry.
I got unsubscribed from your channel, by the way, Sherry. So I resubscribed.
Wait, does Sherry have a channel? I didn't know that.
I think Sherry does have a channel. I don't want to speak out of turn, but I don't think she's currently publishing videos. But we should all sub to.
She's done a couple.
Couple, right? Yeah, a couple. But
I think one of them is. I think one of them is fairly recent, but yeah.
Okay.
I may be subbed. We need to sub to her. Anyone who hasn't yet.
Yep.
Yeah. I had subbed to her before, and I got unsubbed. But that's happened to me a lot. Wow. I got unsubbed from Paulie and from Cardinal Sin. But
I got unsubbed from Doomcock's 2 channels. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Foghorn says those Soups cartoons are my favorite versions of Superman, especially the painted backgrounds. Are you talking about the Fleischer ones? Those were great. I'm surprised some of them are allowed to be. Oh yeah,
Is that where Superman first flew in the Fleischer cartoons? Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So Captain Marvel flew before Superman did in the comic books. And the animators just thought that Superman leaping around when you actually see it, as opposed to one drawing and imagining it, they thought it looked stupid, and they didn't think it was really worth the time they were putting into it. So they went to it wasn't Warner Bros. At the time, to DC, and they said, "Can we just make them fly?" And they went, "Yeah, sure, make them fly."
Yeah, because they used to leap tall buildings with a single bound. You didn't fly.
Yeah, because otherwise, when he's like, when a building was falling and he jumps up and he's pulling the building back into place, I mean, you can't do that if you're not flying.
Yeah,
that's true.
Oh, that one where he grabbed. I thought you were talking about the one in. Can't think of the name of it, but where he basically stops and pushes it back up.
Yes,
that's what I'm saying.
But he flies around and grabs
the
antenna and pulls it back.
How does Superman fly? Does he like vibrate the air around him? And
no.
Oh, if you're gonna open up
the
this
physics of Superman.
I'm just wondering, like, there's no real explanation for it, right? I mean, it's like
it's a quantum effect.
Yes, there is. There's one. I do have it right there. You want to know it? He's Superman.
If it's real, yes. If you're making fun of him,
gas. He expels gas
because he's Superman.
Because
he expels gas at a great rate. In a fantastic rate.
Even Laura said he will defy their gravity.
Yeah. Did anyone ever see the Big Bang Theory where they're arguing about this? And
about how Superman can fly,
yeah, because Penny said, one character, Sheldon, says, says it's ridiculous, and she goes, "I know a man can't fly," and he goes, "No, let's assume that he can." But she's falling at minus 9.7 meters per second. He extends 2 arms of iron and cuts her into thirds. But then you go back and look at it, and you see that he actually flies back down and then
back up unlike when Spider-Man snags Gwen Stacy with his web and snaps her spine.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Well, it was ironic in Civil War when Spider-Man's talking about Cap's shield. He goes, "This thing does not obey the laws of physics at all." Like, really? What about your webbing?
Right.
Webbing.
Now, some characters like Green Lantern
drums, first of all.
Green Lantern is using green energy his will to fly, so it works for Green Lantern.
Yep.
Apparently, Superman has an electromagnetic aura.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I got to derail this conversation for a second. So, Maddie's daddy. I highly recommend High School Musical and The Wiggles. So I've got plenty of Wiggles CDs and movies I can send.
Maddie?
For Maddie,
Maddie?
Yeah.
Okay, because I ain't watching High School Musical.
Dude, I was going to say Maddie's a little young for High School Musical. Actually,
all right, maybe in 10 years. But my daughter loved this when she was about age. I know.
Don't make him suffer through that before he has to.
Well, someone else has to. But I knew this movie inside and out. I could recite every lyric. My kids would watch this and sing this.
But you see, Mark, you're ruining it for him because his kid's got to pick out his own thing. I didn't pick out Dora the Explorer. Right. Dora the Explorer was forced upon.
Right. It depends on when your kids are born. You have no control over the timing. I mean, I had to sit through Barney.
Yep. Yeah. I have to say, High School Musical was well done. No one, unsub from me, but it was, it had, catchy tunes, and the kids, the kids loved it. Like, the 8 to 10 year olds, like, God, they went on. Then we had like a talent show at the campsite one summer, and they all were singing the songs. I mean, you make fun of it, but it really, that first one had some good music and was,
Yeah. I will say this. The brunette chicken, and it's pretty hot, and it appears that she's incapable of taking a picture of herself without at least having most of her clothes removed. So
this is High School Musical. We're not going there.
Hey, Hungry Boy says, "How about the Schoolhouse Rock?" Although this is rock is a German word for revenge. All of which is on YouTube right now. I didn't know they had that in other countries. I got through history because I got the bonus question was write down preamble of the Constitution. You could see everybody in that class kind of going,
start singing.
They're singing it in there. We the people, in order to form a more perfect. And when I was in wrestling, when we would go for runs, we didn't know any cadences. So the one guy started going, conjunction, junction, what's your function? A bunch of wrestlers running around. Yeah, I'm just a Bill. Yes, I'm only a Bill.
Bill.
Yeah. So Hungry Boy, I think that probably will answer your question. Yeah. Probably. Mark, do you know all those songs?
Yeah, I'm bad at, but yeah.
Steve?
Yeah, those were. I have the one of the DVD. I actually got the DVD for that. The what was it called? Schoolhouse Rock. Yeah, Schoolhouse Rock. Yeah, so there was a DVD out of some of the or most of the shows. Yeah, of course I can't play them. But
at Dragon Con one year, one of the costumes was the Bill, but on one side he had he had Bill, and on the other he turned around and it would be Law, and he had the costume look perfect.
That's awesome.
Congratulations, Bill. Now you're a Law.
They did a really funny. It was Saturday Night Live did something that was funny for once. And they did. I'm trying to remember what the law was, but it was something that actually conservatives like this get more. But it was one about the bill.
One who was making fun of Obama.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. And then the Simpsons did a funny take on this one too.
This was great.
They're really funny. Yeah.
Now I'm just the Bill. I can hear that in my head right now. Yeah. I'm just the Bill.
There's conjunction junction.
Yeah, what's your function? Hooking up words and phrases.
And there's about 369. Remember the other one? 369, 12, 15, 18. That's what I learned. Now, the one about counting. Oh yeah.
6 is a magic number.
6 is a magic number. Yes. Yep. And of course, so
exclamation for excitement.
Yeah. So when you're happy or mad,
when you're rats.
Or Chad. Oh, excited. Wow. Yeah. Yep.
Here we are, a bunch of 50-year-old plus men.
You can you can buy the audio. Yeah.
Yeah. No more kings.
Yeah.
Great memories. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. Great. And then Merv Griffin's band leader did the voices of a lot of these things.
Mm-hmm.
Sheldon Sheldon. Yeah, I can't believe I remember that stuff.
Sheldon does your taxes.
and why it worked too, because the songs are so good, right? I mean, the jingles all I mean, as adults, only 20 years later, we remember all these.
In between those cartoons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have this in the UK. Right there. I was aware of it, but I've never really seen most of them. I've just seen a couple of them.
There's the 3 right there.
Yep. Yeah, I wish I could play a few clips of it, but that'd be dangerous.
No, it's such a shame we can't do that kind of thing.
Yeah,
that's right, for educational purposes.
I mean, you could, but
what harm are we doing?
You never know with what. Hey, he's replaying Schoolhouse Rock. Let's use that bill to arrest him.
That's right. Yeah.
But you play a lot of music on your secondary.
Well, I got a radio
right?
channel, and I do play stuff. After about an hour, you start to get warnings, and then you get past an hour and a half, you're doing well if they don't shut you down.
So they just say the stream just shuts. Then
we've detected copyrighted material. Your stream may be ended at any time.
And then sometimes it just ends, right?
Sometimes it ends. Sometimes you can keep going.
Yeah, but you only get claimed. It just gets claimed. It's
you get claimed. Some of them get blocked after, and you just clip that bit out and put it back up. But
put it back.
You usually get the first hour uninterrupted.
Well,
and if you break it up a bit with little adverts, so like I play old clips of old 70s radio adverts and from the UK and stuff, just to break it up a bit. But it's fun. I love just because I used to be a DJ. I love sitting playing records.
Well, it's the audio too, I guess, right? So it's different. Video, you probably get slammed a lot quicker, but
audio, you seem to be able to get away with it for longer. Yeah. So,
but if they had the deals with the record companies, so they got their kickback.
If they said to me, if you pay us $300 a year and you can play whatever you want, I'd say, great, there's the money.
Yeah.
And I would sit and play it.
Yeah. Right? Because it's really just advertising. Let's face it, no one's buying albums anymore. What's an album, right? I mean, it's all streaming, right? So people are streaming everything.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
if I could buy a license, but they make it so difficult because there's multiple different types of license, multiple record companies, multiple publishing houses. There's no one. Hey, you buy this license, you can play what you like. It doesn't exist, so you can't do it.
70s. Did they? You said you had the Schoolhouse Rock stuff in Scotland when you were.
Oh, we didn't know. I was aware of it, but we didn't have it.
Okay.
No.
I was going to ask because they have one about the American Revolution, and I'm, we still have different.
Did they play that one?
I'm a big fan of the American Revolution, but that's just that's. I don't. I don't care about the colonies.
We were the first country to ever separate from a parent stem in the history of the world, and then everybody else kind of.
Well, I like it because the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution were very much based upon the Scottish Declaration of Arbroath from the early 1900s. So if you look that one up,
that's funny because the English say it was based on. Actually, every country will tell you it's based on something of. That's one thing about
the Declaration of Arbroath was written by the Scots when they were rebelling against Edward I, and it basically said that the Scottish people had the right to choose their leader, and that various safeguards should be put in place, and if they didn't like them, they could get rid of them. So it was the end of idea of a hereditary monarch, and so a lot of that stuff it was in later documentation, which then influenced the writers of the Constitution. So it was the beginning of that idea in the feudal era that, we actually, if we don't like you, we can get rid of you. Which was a revolutionary idea at the time.
Oh yeah, when Thomas Jefferson wrote that everyone has the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Even poor people said that's ridiculous. We don't have those rights. Only landowners have those rights. Only rich.
Well, it didn't say you could be happy. It just said you could pursue it. You didn't have to be happy. You could pursue it though.
Yeah,
feel free to pursue it as much as you like.
The first draft actually contained the words "land," if I'm remembering my history correctly.
Of the Constitution.
Yeah, said land.
But there's a thread that goes back from that. I mean, the Constitution is probably the greatest libertarian document ever written, but there's a thread goes back from that through the French Revolution and back as far back as things like the Declaration of Arbroath in Scotland, which was document that in Declaration of Arbroath. It's a town. Arbroath. Okay. So Arbroath was the abbey where the peoples, the representatives of the people of Scotland, of all, like the lords, the church, and the towns, the representatives from the towns, which are the people's representatives, met under the auspices of Robert the Bruce when they were fighting Edward I to free Scotland from his invasion and his rule. And they basically wrote this document which said, we have the right to choose our own king, and if we don't like him, we have the right to replace him too, which was revolutionary in a feudal society. And Robert the Bruce signed this. He said, if I don't sign this, I'm not worthy to be your king, and I shouldn't be leading this fight against Edward I. So it became a bit, and it said everyone's got these rights, and the right to be heard in the assemblies and blah blah blah. A full list of these rights that the Scottish people should have had, and nothing like it never existed. Because if you look before the Magna Carta, King John, that was more a declaration of a very strict declaration of what the king's rights were and what the aristocracy's rights were under him. Not what the people's rights were. They didn't matter. And that was, and King John said, I want to write down here, and this is where writs came from. Writ that you serve to somebody, or writ in court, came from Magna Carta. The writ, this is my right to, the king has the right to 10% of X, or the king has the right to sleep with whatever, that he wanted those written down in paper so he could say to his barons, no, that's mine. But equally, they could say, no, that right belongs to us. People were nothing in that. It was like they're just cannon fodder, farmers. So Magna Carta was this is a famous document and still exists, and the original copy is still I think it's in Westminster Abbey or something. It's it's not, that wasn't really a thing about the people. The Declaration of Arbroath was about the rights of the people, all of them, and the right to have the leader they wanted and to reject that leader if they did them harm or failed to defend them against an outside enemy. So a lot of that language ended up being influencing things later during the Enlightenment and Reformation eras and coming up in various other documents in the French Revolution. It was a thread that kind of starts from there, you know. Not that they were the first, because they obviously took Greek ideas about democracy and so on and put it in there.
Yeah. Hey, Pop Culture, you're saying that it's cool to hear some Scottish history and how it relates to the Constitution.
There's a thread. I'm not saying it's a huge...
No, I'm not.
There's a thread.
I have. So I was talking to a musician at work, a very accomplished musician, and somebody was talking about how rock and roll was stolen from, the blues. And he said, in a way, yes, but that came from Scotland. And I was like, really? And he said, yeah, rock and roll actually has its roots in Scotland. And he said, but they got it from India. Now I was probably talking about chord progression, things that are beyond.
I get that. There's a thread. I mean, a lot of rock and roll, true rock and roll, in sort of when you talk about Elvis or guys like that, their music was a fusion of that blues, R&B, and the country and western traditions, which largely were based in country and western. Largely is based in Celtic and indeed some English folk influences, and that style of traditional music. That's where your Carter family type material comes from.
It's an evolution,
they were the descendants of Scottish, Irish, English incomers who had brought their music with the fiddles and the whatever accordions and the blah blah blah. They'd brought all that stuff with them, and that fed into rock and roll.
I think the accordion is an American invention.
Yeah, well, whatever the equivalent would be.
The violin, yeah.
The accordion is a refinement of other instruments which went before it, which were wind and keyboard based, key based that you could pull in and out. They go back to the Middle Ages. So
let me just say goodnight to Snorterpoop is Cuba. So goodnight, Snorty.
Good night,
Snorty. Have a great day tomorrow. And welcome to the channel, The Common Nerd. So welcome and glad to have you. And he said he's
the Common Nerd.
Loving the good conversation. Normally we talk more about geek and nerdy stuff, but we drift in a little bit of history. And you did point out.
Somebody say Batman.
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 No.
Batman. We were talking about Batman earlier and the new Batman movie coming out. But this is what I love about this show is that we can talk about last week we talked about cars, and we've talked about Star Trek and Star Wars and the incredible amount of toys and collectibles that Mark has behind him and surrounding him and about to sneak up on him and come to life. But then we can also talk about these things. This is a great channel. I really enjoy it.
Thank you. Yep.
Sometimes I think if you're on a strictly comic book related channel, you'd be like, okay, well, what do we talk about now? I mean, Claudia's mentioned a couple of times. She's like, wow, we've done everything. What am I going to do this week? And I'm always saying,
that happens.
I'm always saying, let's talk animation. I got a lot of stuff.
Well, I'll tell you what. I have my show tomorrow at 2 p.m. My weekly show. It's going to be, I've called it the reality show tomorrow. We're going to talk metaphysics and we're going to answer the big questions.
42.
Yeah. What? Yeah. That's the answer, not the question. Why is there something instead of nothing? How, what is reality? All these questions we're going to consider.
And
we're going to provide, there's thousands of years of thought going into these, and we're going to provide the answers. Finally, we're going to answer these questions.
So the answer, the link to your 70s channel is up now. So tune in tomorrow, 2
p.m. Pacific tomorrow.
Pacific, yep.
It's called the reality special. We're going to do metaphysics tomorrow, philosophy, etc., etc. So
what time zone are you in? 70
Pacific. I'm in Pacific. Yeah.
So 5 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah, I'll be working then. Yeah.
2 p.m. Pacific. Yeah.
But just put them on your headphones.
And feel free to ask some big questions.
And just tell everyone at work that you can't answer.
although
You can't answer any questions, and don't disturb me for the next
But,
2
you know,
hours.
why is there something instead of nothing? I mean, why are we here at all? Why not nothingness? You know. Well, obviously, the weak anthropic principle suggests that, well, if we weren't here to talk about it, we wouldn't be here anyway. So yes, there has to be something, or we wouldn't be here. So okay, I'm willing to give that assumption that yes, the assumption is there has to be something. But then why
Strong
this
and weak
something?
anthropic principles. Are you a physicist?
No, I love physics though, and cosmology
Okay.
and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm always all lifelong passion of physics, astronomy, cosmology, etc.
Gotcha,
So I thought let's have a bullshit day on my weekly show.
Fun, yep.
I did talk animation last week, by the way. We reviewed an animated movie.
You did. You did.
Hey, Jill. Hey, Jill.
One of these days,
well,
I would like to talk about the actual mechanics and theory of animation, so that people can have more of an understanding of what makes. Because I could ask you, you know, most people when they say they like the animation, what they mean is they like the character design or the art, but the movement can still suck. You know, like Batman the Animated Series, as much as I love it, had some pretty bad animation in the beginning because they had
movement and editing.
That's why I always say I like the art look before. I never say the animation as much. But go ahead.
Yeah. Because the animation is the movement, and like they had I think 3 different studios that they used, and one of them really sucked, and you can see the difference. As a matter of fact, there's one where Harvey, not Dent, the cop, Bullock, thank you, is reaching for a payphone, and when you make animation, you would do a drawing over here and then a drawing over here, then you have somebody do the ones in between. Well,
To connect the two, right?
Sir?
To connect the two, right? To connect them, yep.
Yeah, it's called in-betweening. A key pose would be like me winding up or Batman winding up. And then the next key pose would be the punch.
And you do, and someone actually goes in between. To match them up. Yep.
Right. And there's a shot where Harvey Bullock is reaching for a payphone, and somebody got his drawings mixed up. So he does one of these. He goes. So that's say the animation.
He was double. No. I'll explain that. I'm going to get a no prize. Harvey Dent did a double take because Two-Face. So he went twice. So that's why that happened.
It was Harvey Bullock.
Oh, Harvey Bullock. Oh, okay.
But you're right. They used a lot of, especially in the 90s. They used like 2 or 3 different animation studios in Japan or whatever.
Yeah, and one of them was good, and one or two. One I think there was definitely the A, B, and C. And I remember Tim.
Bruce Tim.
Thanks. It was Tim Burton. Bruce Tim. In one of the commentaries saying, they had like for this story, I definitely wanted ACOM or whichever one was the good one that they used to do the and Bruce Tim was a hell of a good director. I look at some of his animation drawings that he uses, like for especially the one where it's the guy who thought he killed Batman and the Joker was really angry with him. Remember that?
The man who killed Batman.
The man who killed Batman.
I love that episode.
Drawings were just great. The
ironically named, don't you think?
Yes. Yeah. But,
the Squid.
Sir?
Look, it was Sid the Squid.
Sid the Squid, yeah.
Sid the Squid. Yeah.
I love that episode.
Bruce Timm, so he would do basically poses, and then people would go and do animation based on them, and his drawings were better than anything that ever came out of him.
Tim has said, though, after they did that 4th season and revamped all the animation and revamped all of the looks, which I personally, aside from Batman having the black bat, which I kind of liked, I didn't like some of the changes to some of the character arcs. Now, he has later said that he can't even look at the first 3 seasons. They're great. I love them. He can't look at them because he did not like them. That's his own show. It's his own show, so I can, give it a pass. I understand what he means, but they have most of the better episodes in those other seasons. So.
Yeah, but very often people are critical of their own work, more critical than others.
That wasn't his fault.
Let's hope.
No, but he changed it.
You'll never be good at anything if you're self-congratulatory. You definitely have to see the
flaws,
and work on them. But
plus, when you do it,
sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say, once you work on something, you go over it like I do. I used to do instruction sheets or brochures, and nowhere near the same scope, but like sometimes you miss something because you've seen it so many times, like TEH or something, and now they have you auto check, but like simple things you miss, and sometimes you just go over the project so often, like, I don't want to watch this damn thing again. I'm sick of it, or want to see this thing again. So
well, it's the same as proofreading. I did a lot of writing of requirement specs and project plans. It's the same. There's a word in there you got wrong, but you've read it so many times you just skip over it.
Yeah,
you never see it. It's like you're blind to it.
You're blind to it. Yes, I can see that. Yep.
Yeah. Well, Hungry Boy pointed out that they would a lot of times draw on black paper to force the mood, which was a great point. Jill said that she and that they loved the stories. They were well done. She and her son watched the Two-Face two-parter. Even better than the stories, I think, was the characterizations. People. Walt Disney once said. Somebody once asked Walt Disney. This is a pretty famous quote. He said, "What are the three most important things in a successful animated movie?" And he said, "Story, story, story." That's not actually true, because if you watch the Jungle Book movie is a pretty simple story. It's take the man cub back to the village, but along the way, it's the characters. There's Baloo, who's basically this jazz guy, and then you have King Louie and Shere Khan, the scary British, sounding tiger. And I think with Batman the animated series, and some of them the stories are pretty, simple, but it's the characters that pull them through. I mean, they just.
Well, people love a journey, though. I mean, it's a literal journey.
Yeah.
What was that?
No, you're right. They're short stories, which is what I loved about it. Batman loans himself better to the short story format. Yeah. Because you short stories, but a bunch of them, because they had a lot of episodes per season, gave you a chance to develop character over time. You didn't have to do all of your character development in 22 minutes.
Right.
You could tell, we already knew Batman anyway, and they made it that there. But you're exactly right. Characterization is the key. You can
actually have a great short with just good characters, without look at Looney Tunes. A lot of Pepe Le Pew had no story arc. He just wanted the hot girl that had the paint fall down her back, but it was his character that drew you in, because he was.
They're trying to cancel him now, aren't they?
He was, probably, yeah. He was so conceited because he's based on Maurice Chevalier. He was so conceited that he couldn't even conceive of the fact that no one wanted to be around him. So he'd always be like, "Oh, I love it when they play hard to get," And he would talk to you, the camera, the audience, But there was nothing really difficult, or there's no brilliant arc to these stories. But it's just such great characterization. Daffy Duck too, Daffy Duck. He wanted the treasure of the lamp, and he mine, stuffed the genie back down. There's nothing. Or my favorite Daffy Duck, Robin Hood Daffy. All he's trying to do is show Friar Tuck that he's really Robin Hood, but it's his character, his bubbling, greedy, self-aggrandizing character that pulls it through. And for the early, the stories definitely got better and more interesting, and Jill said, two-parters and stuff later on. In the first, their stories were pretty simple, but they developed Batman and Alfred and even the Joker so much. And as Clobby says, this Joker is probably the ultimate.
Oh, yeah.
It's our collective subconscious of what we think the Joker would be. Somebody once said the Joker would kill you because he doesn't like your shoes. Or
I think he would kill you because it makes him laugh.
Well, let me finish the quote. The Joker would, it was from one of the writers, and I don't remember who, so I'm not going to try to say it, but the Joker might kill you because he doesn't like your shoes, or he might give you $1 million to go buy new shoes. So you can never tell what he's going to do. So yes, you see, Jill's bringing up Duck Dodgers. You see how I dragged you all into animation again?
We love animation.
You keep trying to get out, and I keep dragging you back in.
You mentioned Shere Khan in the Jungle Book, the original 67. George Sanders, great English actor, fantastic voice. Yeah, George Sanders.
The first Simon Templar.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, great. He had the most fantastic voice. Yeah.
Well, Batman animated series was so popular too when it came out. They played it primetime in New York area. I don't know if it was primetime across the country, but it actually moved. 8 o'clock on Fox on Sunday. It was either 8. I think it was 8 o'clock, probably before The Simpsons. And I was like, wow, they're showing this primetime. It was for one season, I think. And actually, I found my VHS tapes of it, and my old notebook. I'd keep, like, you'd write down the episode that's on the tape, say like all the listings, like tape 1 was these episodes, tape 2 back in the, because that was the only way to rewatch them back in the day. Had to record them on VHS, and then eventually, of course, they came out on VHS. But
then your mother records a cooking show, so on the label it says like Batman the Animated Series, and then Julia Child.
Or my sister would do that. My sister was 10 years younger, so she'd record some kid show. Well, of course, all right, Batman is a cartoon, I guess, but she'd record the Smurfs on it. Like, Jackie, why are the Smurfs on my Batman tape? Get your own tape. That's my tape.
Yeah. Once it's taped over, it's gone.
It's gone. Yep. But of course now they have them all on Blu-ray, and but VHS stunk too, because you could only, well, for an animated show you get 4 episodes on one, but 6 episodes on one tape. You'd never could get you'd never could buy like the whole season, if I remember. They'd always like sell you like packages or highlights special episodes or something. You could never just grab the whole season, because what could they fit, like 4 hours on there, or so how many episodes could you get?
Depends on if you taped it at mid speed or long speed. If some you could get some.
Yeah, that's right. The really slow speed.
And
you get a 4-hour
ELP could get 6. ELP could get 6 hours.
You can get a 4-hour tape and tape it on slow. You get 8 hours.
8 hours.
Hungry Boy, I definitely agree with you. If you are a Hungry Boy is really well-educated guy. He was talking about was it Welsh mythology or something a little while ago, and I constantly have to look up things that Hungry Boy is talking about. He kind of makes me feel like a caveman. So I tend to think of myself as a fairly sophisticated guy.
Welsh mythology is all centered around Tom Jones. It's all about Tom Jones.
It's not unusual.
Common Nerd's got a good statement here.
So I'm about 6'1". I was maybe 6'2" at my height. When I was a kung fu student, we had a guy named Tom Jones, 6'9".
Oh, wow.
6'9". As a white
belt, a long way down.
He was a white belt. I was a brown belt. I couldn't even. He could reach me from across the room. But nicest guy ever. And he always had it because he worked mornings. He had to show up late for class, and we'd all start going, "It's not unusual." Mm-hmm. And the poor guy, he's, But anyway, but when Hungry Boy was talking about Chuck Jones, do you guys all know who Chuck Jones was?
Oh yeah, come on.
Oh, yeah.
Like one of the 2 best, in my opinion, animation directors of all time. For me, it's Brad Bird and Chuck Jones, because Chuck Jones, he made up Pepe Le Pew because he had no confidence with girls. So he made a character that had the ultimate confidence in girls. He made up all these characters and all these, really like the rules with Bugs Bunny. Like, Bugs was basically a superhero because he could. He could make Giovanni Jones the opera singer. He could make him hold that note by pulling his hand out of the glove. The glove would stay there. He'd go and send off some earphones. They would arrive in the mail. He'd put them on, put his hand back in the glove, and Giovanni Jones is turning purple and stuff. But Bugs never before Chuck Jones, the other directors, when Bugs would do something, he would kiss a man on the mouth and turn upside down and bounce away back off, into the sunset, and that was it. And then Chuck Jones came along and made all these, broke all the rules, like he said. When in the beginning of this particular one, Bugs Bunny is sitting out there playing a banjo, and Giovanni Jones is rehearsing for his opera that night. And he comes out and he breaks the banjo over Bugs's head, and he ties his ears together over a branch and pulls his body down. Let's go, and Bugs's head hits the branch several times, and then he breaks animation rules and laws and turns to you, the viewer, and says, "Of course, you realize this means war." Chuck Jones, they did a thing about Chuck Jones on PBS like 20 years ago on their Masterpiece series, and Ron Howard and Steven Spielberg are talking about one where Daffy Duck was a sheriff, and the really tough guys come into town, and they have all these shots of these two guys walking down the street. The shootout, the whatever it's called, and they have this drawing showing Daffy doing that walk with his hands out like this, up from a hitching post, and then down from an old time hotel room. And Steven Spielberg said, he didn't go out with a camera and scout these locations. He thought them up and drew them. Chuck Jones was a genius. He was
a genius.
Yeah, I would say either him or Brad Bird are probably the two greatest animation directors of all time, in my opinion. But I'm a fanboy of both of them. So,
Pop Culture was mentioning this series reboot. I remember watching this years ago. I don't know how old it was, but
oh my god,
one of the first.
I remember that.
Animated.
Who mentioned this?
CG. Pop Culture was mentioning it. Yeah,
Pop Culture. I don't mean to offend you, but I hated this
really?
because
I never
the
saw
animation was horrible. It was floaty and it was weightless.
It was one of the first. Yeah,
days.
but it was back in the day. I guess they were trying to do computers, but I remember enjoying it. But yeah, I can see from an animator's perspective. But that was
everything they teach you about. I wish I could come up with an engineering thing so that I could, or I don't know what Pop Culture does, but I mean not Pop Culture, what 70s does, but it's when you see something and they teach you all these things that you never knew, and then you see somebody that's not doing any of it, it just makes you want to.
Yeah, well, this was at 94 to 2001. Wow, so one of the first CGI shows. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was made with Lightwave, actually. Clobby, that's what you would think of as video post.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah.
And, it probably was good for its time because I don't think they had, I don't know if anybody will know this term. Maybe I shouldn't even use it, but inverse kinematics.
What that is.
Inverse kinematics is what allows a character to walk. Because normally if I'm going to animate, forward kinematics is I lift my arm and then I straighten this out and then I grab the thing. Inverse kinematics is you put a null object on the hand or the foot, and wherever you place that, everything backward will stick with it. It's what allows you to do walks. And I don't think they had that yet. So on some level, maybe I should give them credit, but it just looks so bad. I think they should have waited a couple of years. I think they jumped the gun. So I apologize if I've offended anybody. That's how Foghorn feels about current day penciling, inking every day. So yeah, Clobby could probably relate too, because Clobby can look at bad comic book art. Like, who's the guy who did the Captain America with the boobs? Was that Rob?
Rob Liefeld.
Liefeld, yeah. Or
God bless my buddy.
Incorrect anatomy, yeah.
God bless my buddy Jake, man. He actually likes Liefeld, but man, not many do. So,
well, he made his mark in the comic book world. He's got to be doing something right. I mean, some of his art was
he
horrendous.
Started Image and made $1 billion. Bucks. That's how.
But that FF run with Heroes Reborn and all that, I think he was on that, and that was so bad. But
he can't draw feet, by the way.
Yeah. So some of his stuff is passable, but I think more of the character creation and Cable and some of the New Mutants, and of course Deadpool. But hey, he's been pretty successful. So I wish I was as crappy of an artist as he is. So I mean,
some people can fail upward.
We did, boy. So, yeah. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Well, starting Image at that time was big for them. I never liked the Image crap personally, but all those guys got together. They left Marvel when they were some of the biggest names at Marvel, and they started their own thing.
Well, yeah, they were tired of getting quote unquote screwed over by the big guys. So let's be our own bosses, right?
And I don't like much of their stuff, but those guys did. They went out on their own and made their own company. And Image is still huge today, and it's a creator-owned company, so that's a good thing. And at that time, those guys really helped Jack Kirby a lot in his last couple of years. The Image guys, I have nothing but, even though I don't like their comics much, except for some of them, I have a lot of appreciation for what those guys did for Kirby.
Yep. Yeah. Well said. Yeah. So it's that's what you always say, put up or shut up too. If you're going to complain about, working for those big companies, then you go out on your own. It's not always so easy, but you can become a big success. And that's what's great about this country too. You can, you got that shot to, start your own business. My dad did that. He was sick of other people getting credit for his work, and he his patents, and like he invented something. His boss said, well, my name goes first in the patent. He's like, well, you didn't do jack shit, basically. Why is your name even on here? He's like, my name goes first, I'm quitting, because he wouldn't take any crap. So his name was on the top of the patent.
Did you ever watch the DVD extras to Iron Man?
No.
Stan Winston walks in, sees all the Iron Man costumes, and says, "Oh, everything looks great. Make sure to put my name in the title or the credits," and walked out.
He's been like that for a while, I suspect.
Well, I mean,
hey, Courtney's here. Hey, Courtney.
Hey guys.
Hello,
Sorry,
Courtney.
better late than never, huh?
Oh, anytime. This is
Philly.
come and go as you please.
Yeah. I was doing a bunch of stuff on this stream earlier because, well, now today officially where I am, it's Rare Disease Day. So, with my health stuff going on, I was like supporting that channel, and I fell asleep straight up in all my clothes on top of the bed. So
all good.
I just woke up. I was like, oh, what time is it? And then I was like, they might still be going.
Yep, so, we're still going for a little bit. Yep. We Pat S is supposed to bring the gavel down at the 2-hour mark, so I don't go to 3 hours, so I can get to work tomorrow. But
you're funny.
Either that, or I'm going to go watch more Blake 7. I don't know. I just finished what episode I just finished tonight when Serverlong gets taken prisoner, and Avon finds out who I don't want to spoil anything. Who I guess who his wife is, or I don't know how to say it without
Rumors of Death.
Rumors of Death. Yeah, that was a fantastic episode. Yeah,
I got number 2 on my rankings.
All right, I can see why it's number 2. Yep. And then he leaves the guy in the cave. He's like, he left him a way out. Oh my! He's like, here's your way out.
That's your way out. It's a better deal than you gave any of your victims.
Yeah. Oh, what a great line. Hey, Courtney.
Hey. Courtney. Sorry. Right. Yeah. What I heard when I'm sorry, I missed that last little part. What was Cobby saying? Just as I was
about Blake 7.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's Mike, if you want to say it again, but I was just watching I'm watching Blake 7 for the first time. So Mike he's a total expert on the show, but he won't admit that. But if I can describe the episode, he just named the episode title. So one of the characters finds out something about his past that's really interesting, and he leaves a character who's done some horrible things. They have a teleporter on the ship, like a transporter from Star Trek, and they go to a cave that you can't get. There's no other way in and out of. And he said, if you don't give me this information, if you give me this information, I'll give you a way out. He was
just going to kill him, but the guy bargained his way out with information. Yeah, and it goes. He's a Federation torturer, tortures people.
Good Dad, man.
That's always been the superpower that I've wanted would be teleportation.
Nice.
Oh God, wouldn't that be good? Yeah.
That would always be my number one choice. I heard you guys talking about like Looney Tunes stuff earlier, and remember I was telling you last week I used to work at the Warner Brothers store, so I was like, Foghorn Leghorn, they're talking about all this stuff.
Nice. Yeah.
It's my high school.
What if teleportation was like in time travel in the Terminator, where you couldn't take your clothes with you?
Oh, and you were just left like naked somewhere.
Would you still want to do it then?
Well, you'd have to. If you could be strategic about where you were like dropped off. If it was the middle of nowhere, then you could totally work it out. But
or in the middle of Times Square, and no one would notice, right? Because you got the naked cowboy there already, right?
Yeah, you just make it into one of your like artistic things. It's art. It's funny.
Yeah, so you worked in the Warner Bros. So I love that. It was in the mall back.
In the mall.
I love those.
Mall. Yeah. And I used to go there all the time. And it's like, oh God, plus you were a kid when you were there. So you must have got the store discount, Courtney, I guess, right?
I did get a discount. I was like 17, I think, when I worked there. It was in the King of Prussia Mall, which like at the time was considered like a big mall in America, kind of. It wasn't like the Mall of America, but it was like a really,
big one.
Just redone it. But the store was awesome. They had like the whole one wall was a big like television screen, and they just showed like clips of like cartoons all day long. So
I love it.
Yeah, I love that store.
Yeah,
all they had statues there and toys.
Oh yeah, they had everything. Yeah, I never wanted to be like the cashier because you'd actually have to work. You always wanted to be like the greeter or someone that just kind of like floated around because you really didn't have to do much except for like watch the stuff on the TV. So Pretend you're like, sorting the clothes on the hangers and stuff like that.
Yeah, so are they still in business, the Warner Brothers store, or is it?
I don't know. I don't know because I just moved back to the East Coast where it would be, but they all look like the same. The front of it.
I was gonna say that's the one I went to.
Right looks like the King Impression Mall, like the actual location too. But they all probably look the same.
They all kind of look like that, and they had great displays, and the Bugs Bunny and
that's exactly. I don't know if it's still there. I haven't been to that mall in so long. I just moved back from Colorado, and I'm 2 hours away still from the Philly area, and that's about probably half an hour outside of Philly.
I think they closed most of them. Some in the chat let us know. Hey, Andy Masterson's here.
Andy.
Yeah,
Courtney,
Andy.
I went to so this would probably have made you want to pull your hair out too, because when I was working on the Dark Knight game, we went to Warner Brothers to pitch it, and they took us through their sort of archive of where they keep stuff. And like the tumbler was there, the Bat Pod was there, I think. The Christian Bale suit was there. There's just all this stuff from Warner Brothers, from their movies and stuff going. I think they had something from Superman the movie. Maybe it was his glasses or his hat or something.
Oh,
yeah. It wasn't the suit. I think that's in the Smithsonian or something, but I mean the tumbler was there, and the Christian Bale suit was and the Joker's clothes were on a mannequin.
Heath Ledger. Are you talking about the Universal? This was like the Warner Brothers studio tour, or this was?
This was the actual studios when I went to Warner Brothers in
California, right?
Yeah, north of Los Angeles. Can't think of the name of the town. It's where the Bob Hope Airport is, the world's tiniest airport.
Yeah, I went there one time too.
Yeah.
And did the tour, and then I went to see
Burbank.
Burbank. Yeah, so I saw the Big Bang Theory set, and they're showing. And one person was asking, like, "Oh, who are those characters?" Like, that's Superman, that's Batman. I've told this story before. That's Robin. And then they're showing another character. And I'm like, oh, that's Black Canary. I yelled out, oh, that's Black Canary. And then the tour guy was kind of being snide. Well, you sure that he knows? And she kind of looked at him like, trust me, he knows.
Trust me. That is funny.
Yeah, like the look on her face, you got to roll her eyes. Like, all right, yeah, we'll go with what this what Mark is saying. Yeah, so.
This wasn't the tour. This was the actual
the studio, right?
Oh, this is where they ran. This is where well, it wasn't even the studio. It was
like a warehouse,
business offices where they did the business of whatever it is Warner Brothers does. So and Klobby, we talked to the guy who used to be he might still be the Warner Brothers, the top guy. He used to be an artist. Was born in Korea. Jim Lee.
Jim Lee's pretty much still sort of a DC figure, and I think he still works at DC right now. He was running it. I don't know if he's actually running the whole show anymore, but yeah, Lee's there.
Well,
I've been him once.
When we were pitching the Dark Knight, we were pitching the Dark Knight game. Him and the guy next to him, they were on a monitor because they were in New York, and they were like, I always say they were like the guys in high school that picked the seats in the back of the class so they could, make snide jokes and stuff. And he was doing that. And then, but I'm very proud of this fact. And then they were going along and, talking about the font and all these other things. Then he turned the page and saw my 3D model of, is it a Batman or a Tumbler? And he sat up and looked at it. You can see him turn to his friend and go, wow, this is so cool. So that's kind of my claim to fame. But
nice.
But yeah, they had. But it was. We all wanted to just come back that night and just steal everything because, the freaking Tumblr was there.
Well, actually, I was really lucky to see the studio tour, and they had a special display of all the Batmobiles lined up.
Oh, that's cool.
I'll see if I can find a picture. But Courtney, you must have had fun. I don't know if did you actually make any money working there? Because I know if I'd worked there, I'd spend all my income
I actually when I was in high school, my mom did this thing where, because I had a job since I was 14, I got working papers. She just wanted to instill that responsibility in me. And any money that I made, she would match, so that all the money I was making was going into a bank account for when I went to college.
Right.
So, but I used to take out of my bank account too. A little bit. So I feel like I had all this money that I made on my own. But the one thing I was going to say when he was talking about going to the warehouse or the studio or whatever is the big thing about the Warner Brothers stores. I remember having to sign so many like disclosures and like all this paperwork just to work there, and it seemed really like such a big deal for a teenager, just about like that you wouldn't tell about, I guess upcoming things or like the secrets of Warner Brothers and whatnot. But it was a really big deal, like all these legal forms and that I never had to do before. I remember thinking like, whoa, I'm like really working in like a special spot. But it's funny.
Well, here I found some of the tour pictures here. Let me put this over here. Yeah. So they had a special exhibit of a bunch of the cars. So it was pretty fun. Let me share this. Yep. Share a screen. Let's share that. So yeah, of course, there's a classic, Warner Brothers. You get there, you're like, oh, this is going to be cool. VIP tour, So, and there's Bugs with my kids. Yep. This is many. It doesn't seem like that long ago, but yeah. So that was fun. Yep.
Oh, that is this in Florida or
no? This is California.
Actually, California. Okay.
California. Yep.
Oh, that was a dumb question. Forget it. I had a bit of a brain fart there. Don't mind me.
So stage 25, I think that was where Star Trek. It's part of Star Trek. No, what was filmed? Oh no, that's the Big Bank there. Yeah, Big Bank there.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, there you go.
So they had their own parking spots there. Yep. So yeah, no.
I realized that was the girl from Blossom on that show until recently.
Oh, Batman and Robin was filmed there. Batman Forever. So it's cool to show you what was filmed. V was filmed there in '84. Maverick. Cool. So I love, Casablanca was filmed there. Part of it.
Wow. My favorite movie.
Some great. Let's see. Zoom into this. Yep. Well, Charge of the Light Brigade. Wow, look at that.
Wow, that's amazing.
High Sierra, Yankee Doodle Dandy, Casablanca, Giant. So James Dean was on that set. Green Berets, Shoot Us. That was John Wayne's last movie, and that was with Opie or what's it from
Ron Howard.
Ron Howard. Yep. Witches of East.
And that's weird with what's happening in our day and age.
Outbreak. Oh, Outbreak. That was a Dustin Hoffman movie, right? With
that was a good movie.
Like scary. A COVID thing. Yep. And then
that's what I'm saying. It's interesting with our day and age. That shows right there.
Maverick, Big Bang, V. I gotta love V. Yep. So that's fun in Cheyenne. Yep. So that's fun.
Oh.
Friends was there. So here's some of the entrance. So the car. Yep. Of course, this is my old cell phone, so probably not good. Jaguar.
Jaguar.
The General Lee.
Hey.
I went to high school with a kid that had the same car. His dad owned an auto shop, and they even had the horn.
That's the Whitby version.
Yeah, there's no flag on the top. Yeah.
The kid at my high school had the flag. I don't know how he got away with it in our neighborhood either.
Yeah. Well, I know that John Schneider at his house out near out where we live. Near here, he has the one with the flag on it.
Yep. And here's the tumbler, Steve, that Steve was talking about. So they put this out.
I hate that Batmobile.
I know, but it's just the engineering on it. It's just so cool.
I mean, it's a cool car. No, I'd love to have that, but it's not a Batmobile.
I know, but it just
it doesn't feel like a Batmobile.
And I'm like, can I go over and you touch it? Laughing at the guy. So there's the 89 Batmobile.
You're like, wait, car. You're so excited. You're like,
yeah, like
I'm more excited than my kids.
Let me in. Yep. Gotta be there.
That's
yep. Cool. It's not as tall of a car too, so you're looking at it. It's not that like the Tumbler is much higher. It's really sleek, as big as it looks on the screen. And of course, this Batmobile was ridiculous. That was what was that, the George Clooney one back there?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It's too over the top like this. All right.
Oh no, is that the Clooney? I don't think so.
I think it is.
Or was that? I think that might be.
I think, but the
The
neon
one next to the
is
Burton
off.
one? The one next
the
to the
most-
Burton one, you mean?
Yeah, it's to the right.
I don't
That
know.
must-
We'll get there because I'm sure I have a picture.
Might
But
be.
Because
When was
it's
I
this?
mean,
not-
this
it's
this
not the
screams
Val Kilmer.
Batmobile.
When was this you took this picture?
2014, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think it is Clobby because it's otherwise
be.
it would have to be the Val Kilmer.
No,
one.
you're right. You're right. It's
No.
got to be Val Kilmer. It's the way, because the Clooney one's even worse.
But this is just such a great
Unless that's
design.
Clooney.
It's so good.
You're right. It's probably Kilmer. Just can't see it. It just
No. I'm saying it is the Clooney one. I'm saying it's not the Kilmer one.
Okay.
The Kilmer-
'cause the back
the
doesn't
Kilmer
look like
one-
the Kilmer at all.
Yeah.
Huh?
And that's the Kilmer suit.
Yeah, that's Kilmer.
This
You're right.
one
That was
is
probably Clooney.
this is the Kilmer one, I think.
Yeah, that's Kilmer right there. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, because
okay.
that's Kilmer. Yep. I really like
So,
that
yeah.
movie, but not like the Batmobile. It's like you're not gonna have the stupid freaking wing that they're vertical aileron's gonna get knocked
I had a
off.
telephone of this, and yes, the whole Batmobile was the phone. You picked it up off the table, and it's a telephone.
And this is like impossible to drive. They said because the tires are so fat.
I had to make this in 3D. It was very complicated.
Wow,
Wow.
that's impressive. Yep.
Wow. He only used it in the second one, or did he use it in the third one? No, the third one he had some stupid flying thing or whatever, right?
Yep.
But
There you
I think he used it in the third one too because the car was
He
gone.
may have. He had like a
Uh-huh.
flying
I
thing.
only saw the third one.
That looks
once.
like my first car.
Yeah, me too. Have you, by the way, not to distract from this, have you seen that this little Daniel Radcliffe is playing Weird Al Yankovic?
What?
He
No.
is.
Yes. In a movie, I swear.
I can't
Are they
picture
doing
it.
No.
You're doing a bio of Weird Al or
I
something?
guess.
Why don't they
Just
get
get
Weird Al to
Weird
do
Al.
it?
Yeah, just get Weird Al to do
Yeah,
it.
really.
I don't know.
For real? Yeah, I didn't even think about that. He has not left us yet.
Not yet, no. No, that man can play the accordion.
Yes, I love it. I love him.
He is great. I love his accordion videos. He does all rock stuff. It's great.
He's got a degree in well, I'm so
Yep.
sleepy I can't even think of the word. Architecture.
Is
Oh,
it?
he does?
Oh, I
I
didn't
didn't
know
Yeah,
that.
Weird Al could legally build your house. I mean, legally design
Wow.
your house. He got his degree in architecture. Yeah.
I think Jill might mean the Ford Anglia. Not the Angela. That would be a different car. But I could be wrong. Maybe I'm missing something.
I never knew much Weird Al stuff like after the 80s,
I'm a big fan.
I should say.
Oh, he's great. He's still
Like
just
when he
good
did like
stuff.
the I'm fat instead of I'm bad and
Yep.
that
Living in the
love
fridge.
I
Weird Al.
thought it was. I thought this was some kind of joke, but but it looks like it's. Yeah, he's playing him. Anyway, go ahead, continue with this. Sorry, but I'll try to find pictures of it
I know.
later.
I didn't have anything else to say about it.
This is the Clooney Batman. Oh, horrible. I mean, if they cut these wings off,
Okay,
or
that's
whatever you call
that's terrible.
it's too narrow.
What
I don't
purpose
know.
do they serve? What purpose
Yeah.
do those serve?
Zero.
I don't know.
Like an icy luge or something. I don't even know.
I don't know. It's better than the
Batman was-
tumbler.
Ah,
I disagree
Yeah.
there.
Oh,
I like it
Dukes
better.
of
It's more of
Hazzard?
a Batmobile than a tumbler
the Dukes of Hazzard car.
yeah.
without the flag on the
That's-
top.
That's the one I was saying.
Yeah.
A kid from my
It
high school
fell off
had
during a
it
jump.
fully done.
And
Fully
Austin
done with
Powers
the
in it.
flag and the horn that did it. Or what was it?
Yeah.
I think that was the way.
Yeah.
Wait, or am I doing the? I don't know. What? Forget it.
No. It
And
had
if
the
I was
horn.
doing
It had
like
the horn.
the Looney Tunes
had a
thing
horn,
on
yeah.
head or something.
It had a horn. Yep. I can't sing it, but yeah, but did the. I'm not sure what that Rolls Royce is. Gran Torino. Blurry picture. Sorry.
I don't know.
Get
good
smart.
movie.
The Tiger. That was Steve Carell, but yeah. I love seeing all these old props, and that's Clint's Gran Torino.
That's so
Nice.
cool.
Gran Torino was a good movie.
I
Too
love
bad
that
gets-
movie.
Yeah, too bad Get Smart didn't get
Yeah.
a sequel too. That's if they're going to try to make that a franchise, and guess that died. Yep. I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, why
was
would
that?
it? I mean, Don Adams is Maxwell Smart. Sorry,
Yeah, I guess.
they
Yeah,
don't need any more. No,
Oh, the friends.
I know.
nobody else can do it.
Central Perk. I thought it was
Yeah,
pretty
like
fun.
Friends.
Here we go to Friends. Yep. This is what everyone wants to see. Well, I got my Batwing that I just got, and then I got the Friends. The Friends. I got the Lego set sent to me by accident. So. Yeah,
remember, I was asking if they had the cafe, and you were like, "No," but I saw that, and these are the pictures now. That's really funny that it just came up like that. We were just talking about that.
So here's some. If there's any Harry Potter fans out there, Privet Drive, Weasley and Weasley. So I guess I haven't been to Universal yet, but I've done a great job here at Universal with the Harry Potter stuff. There are some suits coming up here that I got to be careful not to show because we don't want to get Clobby mad.
Sure you do.
Lady and gentlemen, since Courtney is here, you no longer need me because
we always need you.
You need one of us or the other, but together we're so. I am going to bow out and go check on my daughter, and then go climb into my coffin until morning before I turn into a pumpkin. Or am I mixing my metaphors? Anyway, it was a pleasure as always. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Pop Culture and Anti-Derivative Jill and Eric K. And of course, hungry for some Foghorn Leghorn, who always makes me feel like a second grade dropout. You know.
Me too. Well, that makes me a kindergarten dropout if you are. So.
Yeah, and then you have Anti-Derivative Jill to compound the problem. You know, make me feel like I'm like I'm only a second generation of my family walking upright, you know. But there you go. Anyway,
maybe third.
It was a pleasure.
All right, bro.
Have a good
Take care,
man.
Bye.
Thank you. Yep. Say hi to Maddie. Thank you. Yep.
Later, bud.
Smallville. Yeah. So I think Pop Culture. Yeah, Nerd Herd. I love Nerd Herd. I love the Chuck, the TV show. Chuck was fun.
Agreed, Hungry Boy. Pertwee and all the doctors. Bessie is a great car.
And this is Clobby knows this movie.
That's Clint Eastwood as well, isn't it?
Yep. Firefox.
Firefox, yeah.
Yep.
Saw that at the theater in, was it 80?
Yeah, 80, I remember seeing that in the theater, yeah.
Uh-oh. Who's that? Oh, we got to get rid of that. That's my son.
Poop.
Nope. Let's see who else they had anything fun here to see. Oh, yeah, they did have the Batman costume, which was cool.
Oh, that's neat.
It's really cool to see this stuff up close too, because it was pretty detailed. Right. I mean, it was. They've got to wear these things. So, and Dark Knight was the only one of the three movies that I really liked on that series. But yeah, the Batman. I mean, it looks pretty cool up close.
Dark Knight is Heath Ledger.
That's the Heath Ledger one. Yep.
Yeah.
One of my friends. I didn't go to college with him, but from my college days, did the special effects or did the makeup on him on Heath Ledger in that movie on the Joker. Yeah. I just found that out a couple of years ago, and I was trying to get in touch with him, and I can't get in touch with him because I wanted to be like, "What?"
How cool is that? Yep. Yep.
The Roku channel.
God, you were young.
Going to have that. Weird Al Yankovic stories on there.
Yeah, that's what's funny. Yeah, with your kids look, just like you, and they're like, "I don't like you. Look anything like you, Dad." And as I get older, I look more and more catching up to my dad. The way
me
you
too.
look.
Look just like my father now. It's ridiculous.
And they're like, "No way."
It's weird. I've started to look more like my dad than my mom the older I got. As a kid, I look way much more like my mother. I act like my mom. Definitely don't act like my dad. He's way more grounded than my mom and I are.
I'm sure you were grounded a lot as a kid as well. I'm sure you were
actually
grounded.
No. I don't know where my parents were half the time when I was a kid. I was like the mom. I was the oldest of all the kids. So.
See, I was lucky. I grew up in an era where as kids we were still we were encouraged to go out and leave the house and don't come back till it got dark. We used to just disappear all day, gone. Nobody. They didn't care.
The good old 80s. You could still do that. My mom would kick us out of the house.
Oh yeah, we were told get out and don't come back. Yeah. So it was good times. They didn't care what we were up to.
The street lights would come on. That was the sign to come home, and my mom still didn't ever call us in. I don't think when the nights came on.
Usually I might slink home earlier because I was hungry. Feed me. Feed me.
Yep, in the 70s, a little bit different. Yep. So yeah, so Hungry Boy got knocked out for 90 seconds. So you can actually change the speed. That's my kid showed me. So he got knocked out for 90 seconds. I guess his internet went out. Internet maybe went out. So
okay.
So he's behind by 90 seconds. But if you change your playback,
well, we're here from the future, Hungry. And
yeah.
Use your flash powers. Hey, yes, Matthew
we're here from the future.
So what's cool if you go to if you go to California, if you're near the studios, I'd say take those tours. They're fun to go on. Of course, they do have a small, pretty big Warner Brothers store there, which was fun. So the Batman.
I was just going to say that the setup that all looks exactly like the store I worked in, and that was in 1994.
Yeah,
hasn't changed much at all, like the shelving.
So a lot of cool stuff. I should have bought that Superman pen. Why didn't I buy it? I almost bought it. I didn't.
What's wrong with you?
See, for the rest of your life, you will regret that.
See that cup right there, the bottom of the Superman one with the blue one,
the cape.
That's the one with the cape. I have that sitting here right now. It's anchoring my mic, my gas mic, because I have it rigged up because I can't remember. You know how I can't put this on.
Yeah, it wasn't working right.
It's the middle anchor because. It's hard to explain, but it's right here.
It's using its superpowers to hold your mic down, right? Yep.
That's a big. that cup is gigantic.
It helped the situation.
That cup is I mean, you could put a whole bowl of soup in there. I mean, it's not normal size. That's great, and the cape's kind of cool. I think Claude get it to me. Bazinga! To hell with Bazinga! That
there are some Looney Tunes.
Freaking. Big Bang Theory, but that's cool right there, though.
That was cool. Yep.
I love those Warner Brothers stars.
Yeah, I guess there's a few left. I'm not sure, but
I don't know.
I mean, obviously they have them in the studio, but let's see if I had any more pictures. Just a few. I did buy a few things there. I bought this really cool hat, and then I was on a ride at Disney, and I lost the damn hat on the roller coaster. And then I got off and they gave me I was buying a new hat. And I told the person at Disney, I said, I just lost my hat in the ride, so I'm buying this one. It had it was like another Disney hat. And they like, just wait here a second. And then they just comped me the hat, which was so nice. Great customer service. It was about
nice.
10 years ago. But, I wasn't asking for a free hat, but I'm like, I just lost, my hat just blew off. Or I'd asked her to, do they once in a while they go, they go through the coaster, and she's like, well, I'll take your number and the description. If they find it, we'll mail it to you. And when she's like, here, this hat is on us.
That's amazing. They didn't make people take their hats off. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but
no, it's okay. No, they do tell you put your hat. And I was holding it and and the kids are like, take it off, Dad. You're gonna get, it's okay if you get wet. Then the hat went. So, but. All right, I was wrong. You guys are right. So
learn from me now. This is something you can learn from me. Don't wear your hat.
Yeah. So I was protecting myself from the sun, but yeah. So, but no, it was going to those studios. It's a lot of fun. So I'm glad we did that. It was a good time. So, Pat S was supposed to yell at me when we hit the 2-hour mark, right, Pat S? Where's Pat S? He's asleep.
You're fired.
But I think this has been a great time tonight, and thank you for 70s for joining us. I know
thanks for inviting me.
It's late. Sometimes it's tough for you to make it.
I'm only 10 p.m.
Only 10. All right, that's good. 10 p.m.
I'm in Pacific. Yeah.
Well, that's good. All right, so not too late. Yep.
But I still have to get to bed because I'm old.
Because you're
older today than I was yesterday.
My mom used to stay up so late. She's like at 11 o'clock now. She's like, I have to go to sleep. She used to stay up till 3 a.m. I swear.
Yep.
You're old.
You're old. Yep. So unfortunately,
people seem to go one of two ways: either they sleep all the time or they can't sleep at all. There's nothing in between.
That was my grandmother.
You got to get the early bird dinner at 4 p.m. right? And then, someone in the family, they would, they're like, well, we get up at 4 a.m. But it's like, yeah, but you go to bed at 8 p.m. So it's really not that impressive, It's just whatever you feel, whatever you want to do, it's fine. But it's, you're sleeping those hours, it's but no, it's been a great time tonight. Want to thank everyone for joining us, and great Steve Mitchum who's here, and Dad Man. God, I can go all the way back in the chat now. This is awesome. So
that is good.
So give a shout out to Snortopoopus, Hungry Boy. Well, hungry for some Foghorn Leghorn logic.
Hungry boy.
Hungry Boy.
I love that name.
Great Eric K, Pop Culture Republic. Dave was here. Apolly's Minion. Punk Waddle. Let's see who else.
Sherry was here.
Sherry was here. The lovely Sherry. Cal
Sherry
was here. And I think I said Eric K, obviously. And we had a new guest tonight. That was Nerd. What was
the Common Nerd?
The Common Nerd. Yep.
There you go.
Yeah. Thank you, the Common Nerd. Thank you for being here. Hey, am I forgetting anyone? Oh, editor of Jill. I can't forget Jill.
Jill.
Thank you, Jill.
Wonderful Jill. Yeah.
Yep, Jill's great
Matthew
person.
Pender.
Yep.
Hungry for some Foghorn.
Matthew. Thank you. Oh, and Andy Masterson stopped by. Yep. Oh, and before
he made a comment about KOP. I had written back to him if he was from the area, because that's the King of Prussia Mall that I was talking about, where I worked at the Warner Brothers store.
Oh, here it was. Yep.
Because he said KOP, I'm like, are you from that area? Because most people don't. I wouldn't think would refer to it as that.
Yep. And I do have a video dropping tomorrow on this cool action figure, which you all should go out and buy. So this is Thunderstrike. Eric Masterson, who replaced Thor, merged with Thor.
Somebody liked him, and it's you.
Yeah, I liked him.
One day I would meet somebody like Eric Masterson. I'm just kidding, dude.
I know, but he died a hero, and I did free him from the box. So I got a quick 5-minute video coming tomorrow. But he's very posable, and he looks pretty cool, I got to say.
He does.
He's always yelling.
Nice code piece.
Nice code piece. He doesn't have that stupid bendy part in the middle, the hinge in the middle. And the hammer was cool. And I like that when Thor would change back and forth between, Alter Ego and Don Blake. I thought that was always a cool part of the character to switch back and forth. So, he didn't, spoiler, he didn't make it past issue number 25. Hey, Matthew Pounder, see, he agrees with me. He likes some Thunderstrike. There you go.
Oh, I knew there were two people. I always said there were two people.
Yeah.
I always said there were two people out there. I'm just kidding, man. Nothing against him. I'm just
yeah.
So I always tell people I have a cousin named Thor because it's such a cool name.
It is very cool, yeah.
My aunt was cool.
So why don't we go around the horn and we'll go ladies first. So let's Courtney, I'll put your channel link in, and if you have anything coming up.
I do actually, and I just want to make sure that I am getting the name right. I am going, I do random streams on my channel. It's Courtney's Fellowship of Oddballs. I did a couple this past Friday, actually 2 of them in one night.
One was kind of late, wasn't it?
Yeah, I did it before and after Creepy Little Book, which is my old friend's friend I've been for over 20 years. So we kind of did a pre-party and after party. Yeah. But on Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern time. So it's going to be 9 o'clock Central. I'm trying to find the name. I apologize. It's okay. Baron Orman Tagg. Spelled Tagge. I'm going to be his guest on his late night show. So that's this Wednesday. And that
I want you. Are you a mod here, or put it in the private chat? I'll throw that link up if you have it.
I will do it. Yes.
I know that channel. Baron's cool guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I just I met him, met him tonight, and we're talking through whatever. But somebody recommended me to him, which I thought was really nice.
Cool. Yeah, it's always good to support other people and get the word out. And I'm always trying to promote, all my buddies and people we hang out with. So it's always.
I always joke around. I say I'm better at networking than the actual YouTubing thing, because that's what I used to do, a lot of networking when I booked bands and stuff like that. So
you're wonderful at the YouTube thing too, my dear.
Yeah.
I don't do that much of it because I don't have the I'm not tech savvy at all.
Of course, Eric K.
It took me so long to pull up this link.
Eric's got it.
You already got it, right?
Eric's got it.
It takes me this long to find my link too. Usually, thank you, Eric.
And once a tip too, once you get to 100 subs, you can actually customize your link when you do
I know,
that.
and I'm past 200 right now, and I haven't done it yet.
You
I
better
don't know how to do
customize
it yet.
I'll tell you when we get off. It takes 2 seconds. Yep, that's easy.
That's what I was told too. I just haven't.
I help Clobbering Times do it. Yep.
So
so that's 70s. You've got a great show coming up tomorrow.
Action-packed day tomorrow at 8 a.m. Pacific. I'll be on with Purple Valkyrie on her channel. We're going to be talking Elvis Presley, hence the gold lammy suit in the background.
Nice.
So I think it's in the light of the Baz Luhrmann Elvis Presley movie trailer dropping. She wants to do a show about Elvis, and she very kindly invited me, so I've got lots of Elvis stuff to talk about. And then at 2 p.m. Pacific, I'll be doing my weekly show. It's only talk and roll, but it's metaphysical reality show special. It's all about the big questions. Why is there something instead of nothing? Is time travel possible? What is reality? Why do people hate Nickelback? Those kind of questions, we're going to answer them once and for all. They're going to be answered.
That's the second time Nickelback came up today. Why do people hate? You know what? I don't use the word hate anymore. Strongly dislike Nickelback.
Why do people mock Nickelback? I should say.
Yeah, right.
We're going to be talking about the big stuff, and we're going to answer those questions. I personally think it's the Turtles all the way down that is the answer.
Nice. Yep. So sub to that 70s, and also he's got his music channel going too. So check
70s Rock Fan Radio.
The radio channel here. So let's
we have some big plans.
And RK, thank you for that. Eric put the exact link to the show for tomorrow. So
thank you. So that would have taken me forever.
Eric's the best. Yep, he's the best. Yep.
I just wanted to add about that 70s show. His radio show is the best. So if nobody's checked it out, you have to check it out. He's
got like 17 subscribers on it, but
it's so good though. It's really fun.
Yeah. Sorry. Last one I did, I couldn't speak because I had laryngitis.
I know.
Your voice is getting better now. Yep.
It's much better. I've stopped coughing all the time. But yeah, I'll do another radio show this week. I think tea and honey. No. You need this.
You need the whiskey. Yeah.
But anyway, yes. Thanks for saying that, Courtney, and thank you for joining me on my show last Monday. It was awesome. We got a lot of views on that one. That was a good show.
Great. Well, Courtney's an expert at music, if I may say, right?
We had some fun.
You don't mind me saying that, Courtney, right?
So. I don't mind at all. That's why I get along with him. I always want to see his records and stuff. I'm like, show me that vinyl.
Yeah, Berkeley's in California, right? Just kidding.
I was going to be like, you should know better.
Yeah.
It's
Berkeley School of Music. Yeah.
It's the Berkeley with 2 E's at the end.
Yeah. And Clobbering Times, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it, my buddy. And I know you got a cool show coming up tomorrow night. I'm sure you want to talk about.
Yeah, Monday night, March C Comics Talk back at its regular time. It'll be, of course, our annual Superman birthday bash. Superman's birthday is always the 29th.
Come round already. Jeez.
Yeah, well, it's 29. It's the 29th, and there is no 29th this month. But I would get as close as we can. We do it every year because that's when that's his birthday in the comics now, not his when he first appeared or anything.
That was a fast year.
We did have that big one last year. Yeah, that one. Yeah. So this and who knows? It'll just be celebrating all things. The big Kahuna, the most important and the biggest superhero of them all. So we'll do something about that. And then Wednesday night, the great 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser shall join me for another classic comics. Excuse me, that always happens. Review of Frank Miller's masterpiece, Daredevil: Born Again. So.
I got it right the first time I was born. That's my line. I'm just joking. No, just kidding. That's an awesome. Well, maybe I didn't. Yeah, boo. Bad dad joke. God, that's horrible. Oh. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, so that's a great classic Daredevil. Nick Weiser.
You help make it possible.
Yep.
Nick Weiser is really cool.
He's fun. Yep. So we got a good.
He showed up late night on Friday on my stream, and he wouldn't show his face. He had that much to drink. He wouldn't even show his face.
Wait a minute. After 4 hours that we did last night, you telling me he went to another stream
on Friday night?
It was Saturday morning by the time he left that stream. But
it was.
Crap.
Oh my God, he went to your stream.
And he wouldn't show his face. He just was talking. I was
Did
like,
he talk about buying his hot toy? He bought a hot
Yes.
toy. Yeah, so it was
Yes.
after. Oh my God, that was late that he did that.
Yeah,
'Cause I got off at like
It was late.
1:30. Wowzers.
Well,
Wow,
Christopher
man.
goes from 1 until 2 East Coast time.
Crazy.
So
I'm
not kidding,
we
I
started back
remember
up
it.
at 2.
I remember a show Nick did, or it was either his show or it was Foulball, where he spoke for an hour, just him, and he was drunk, and he went for 1 hour. Nobody interrupted him; they just let him keep going. And we were timing it; it was about an hour, and he just kept going and going. And going. It was great. It was so funny. He was brilliant.
Well, and I guess Pat S is falling asleep or is not here.
Thank you, Hungry Boy.
Pat.
I'm not-
Thank you, Pat S. For hanging out in the beginning. I guess I'm assuming you're okay, Pat. But
Oh, that's him down here.
yeah,
I didn't even know. I haven't heard him.
The S is silent.
Yeah.
So let's all talk about Pat S right now. What a great guy he is now.
Yes, we love him.
Yeah, it was a Green Goblin. Was an epic. That was an epic stream. It was fun. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know
So-
he was with all you gentlemen.
Yeah,
before.
and I
That's-
cut out
that's
at
funny.
1:30 because I had to go somewhere. But I'm going to play our outro. And God, thanks everyone. Always appreciate everyone hanging out here. Everyone who subbed, everyone who watches, to my guests. And if I forgot to say someone in the audience, apologize. But yeah, we'll catch you. Catch all my buddies here during the week, and I'll be back next Sunday night, and I'll have some short, hopefully some more. I do have a video dropping tomorrow, and some other short toy videos and enabling, so I get you to spend money on, stupid things like this that serve no practical purpose. But why not? You gotta have them.
Makes that
Definitely
noise.
serves the purpose.
Makes that sound.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, everyone. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Let me. Oh, I got to click this outro. Here we go.
It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.